Today, you know, as a proud second-generation Italian Canadian. My dad. I'm the first generation, Katina born, male born in Canada.
Nice.
I mean, first generation must be. This is Italian grilled chicken for lunch, so I think there's just a little bit of Italian seasoning on there. Get maybe some oregano. I don't know.
You got to be the judge of that.
Yeah, do I? Yeah, so Italian grilled chicken with cold pasta salad. I mean, it's been okay. It sounds more like a lunch to me. Don't tell this to Neil because he doesn't like broccoli. Steamed broccoli, and then I saw that the Caesar salad got substituted with something today, but it is Italian grilled chicken, cold pasta, steamed broccoli, and some sort of a salad. Look, thank you so much for spending your morning with us. You know, Adara's been huge with the news. Some of these trades, man, I know you just hit that Apple trade, which is fantastic. We went 3 for 3, and they're all at the highs or the lows right now. Intel continues to be down. Intel's 75 cents in the money. SoFi's $1.17 and Apple's $3.50. Go find me on Twitter. I'll be posting my outs on there as well. So thank you so much for everybody. Great show there, Obi. I'll check you back very, very soon.
Oh boy, it's already 11. I didn't even see that.
Exactly. This is what happens when you're having fun, man, and you're making some money. So thanks, Obi, for coming through.
Thank you
all.
all.
It's Midday Madness right now. It's Sharif, it's Joseph, and they are ready to go. You guys ready over there? Then let's rock and roll this right now. Let's go over to these guys. It's the Midday Show. Ciao till 2.
See ya.
Boom. Greetings and salutations, beautiful people. Welcome to the Midday Show. That's your boy Joey Options. I don't know why I'm hearing myself in my ear. I love this Unity thing. It always works so well. We'll let that one go. Good morning, Joey. How's it going?
Good, man. You, how about yourself?
Not too bad, man. Not too bad. Let's shout out everybody. Shout out to Bovin, Oxlong, Durant, Gordon, Don Sharifo. We got Snowman and Hangry Wife. Shout out to Dude V, Anichiro, Siesta Mike, and Handles Mahomie. Big 40, Nephew. We got Ahmed. We got Glaze. We got Jason Coingy. Buffalo Soldier's Son. We got Apf and Jacques. How about Beyond Their Control? Shout out to Ed Miller and Baggy Dishes, Darth Trader and Yuck Huckleberry, Jody Mills. Get it, Jody. We got Brian H. We got Mollard. We got Jaguar Knot, Andrew friggin' Chow, Zion Lala Trading PE and Shadow S7, 7S7, Roger Newman and Bobby. Shout out to T. What's up, yo? And Rajesh, Rudy Enriquez and Kevin Gonzalez making the trip. Shout out to Adam All Class, Adam DeLuce. We got Sirac. We got Lucic. We got Danielle Dallas, Dino. Shout out to Hell's Gate and Wisdom A, Kenya Flowers and Control Alt Escape, FJ and Yummy Thai Foods. I can use some of that right now. Trade with Harp and the man. One more, Joey Options. We're gonna say Roadrunner. Meep meep. Yeah, shout out my man Roadrunner there in the chat. Hope everybody's having a fantastic morning. Good morning, Joseph.
Good morning, good morning. Yeah, I hope everyone had a good, solid weekend. Yes, I'm in the sweater today, slightly chilly, but that's all right, guys. We'll figure it out. All right, what did we trade today? Let's go over some of the names. Only 2 on the list. Yes, that's right. I was trading Bitcoin. Man, oh man, what a dump last night. That's not fun. Contracts just absolutely getting blown through the roof. So we got to look at some risk mitigation, but we don't want to panic just yet. So just going over some ideas, we can do some writing just to kind of mitigate and everything. They're further dated, obviously expiring in March, but we don't want to hold on to them for too long and to let theta destroy the value of the contracts. But enough of that. What were we up to? All right, so we go long initially, get stopped out, risking 10 cents, and then sure enough, go the exact same size, risking 10 cents again, and then boom, 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 is when you get to hit that big time move to the top side. So that was really nice there in IBIT. And then we try again at the volume weighted average price, same thing, risking 5 cents this time, get stopped out, hop right back in, double the amount of size there, and then we start to piece them off. I only have about 35% left, and it looks like we're gonna get stopped out break even here. So I'm gonna be keeping my eye on this one. What is my average? 60/10s. Sorry, excuse me, we only got about 2 cents before it comes back to that break-even part. Ethereum just getting lit up. Oh man, it's tough. I got to think of what I'm going to do with this position. Now, as for NVDL, this was the second name that we traded throughout the day. And yeah, I mean, we got it off those lows and we took some off. We were happy with it and it continued to climb higher. So, I mean, we were participating. We won't complain too much about it. But other than that, not too bad of a look, so, and not too bad of a start here, Sharif.
All right, guys, I'm just looking at a couple of the names that you guys are mentioning in the chat. Some of them I have knowledge of, some of them I don't. I haven't taken a trade quite yet, but here's what I'm looking at. There's a lot going right now. BETR is all sorts of insane. I figured based on the way that this was moving and, you know, the randomness with which it showed up, 1045 first real volume print, that it was adding crypto to the balance sheet, but that's not what I'm seeing over here. The company's name is Better Home and Finance Holdings. Apparently they have an AI aspect to their home finance company business, so it screams maybe sympathy with Open. I don't know. I'm not seeing much of a headline. I'm looking into last week. There's barely anything, but you got to put some dang respect on this percentage increase, Joey. 140%, 94.06 high a day. It's above the volume weighted average price, which will always be that solid white line on my black charts. Holding 80 for now. It's awfully crazy and awfully volatile, also awfully spready. So you have to exercise caution when trading this, but we're going to keep an eye here on BETR. It's also a bit expensive, and I say that obviously tongue-in-cheek because $94. We're usually trading something in the single digits. So this one, you'll have to manage your risk a little bit differently than we typically do on some of these other small cap gappers. But the OG Bovin letting me know about NVNI. I already had eyes on this, but Bovin calling it out. And I happen to like the chart pattern on NVNI the best so far. Respect for the 10 EMA on the 5 is an understatement when you're referring to this price action today. So anything at around $1.25, maybe even a little bit higher. I'm a buyer here to hold trend on NVNI. There's also SLNH, and this one's up a little bit more, 53 some odd percent. It topping tailed into 2. So it looks kind of ugly over here, right? Topping tail, all of a sudden there's a storm of sellers pushing this from 2 down into the high 150s, and now we're in the mid 160s holding on for dear life at either the 10 EMA or VWAP. So this one will be in focus as well. KOD, not KODK, so not Kodak, like the one that was running during the pandemic, but KOD. Also 37% in Greensville over here. A little bit more expensive, $13 name. Ton of lower highs right now, which has me hoping that this is going to be a bit of a bull flag. Here's how I perceive the price action on KOD to have unfolded. Bull flag breakout starting at $10. Top end of initial bull flag, 12.5. Range for top end of the first bull flag, 12.5 to 11.5. $1 range for the flag component. Second bull flag manifests at 11.75 to 11.5 bull flag breakout. There's the second, and it may look like a bull pennant a little bit here because of the lower highs, but the higher lows. The range for that bad boy is going to be 13.50 to the top side and generally 13 to the downside, despite the fact that we have wicks into the $0.75. So KOD certainly in focus as another bull flag continuation. Well, let's keep going here as long as you're okay with that.
Yeah, go ahead.
SKBL continuing to go, Joey options. This one's doing a little bit less volume, also a little bit less volatile, and percentage up on the day, about 24%, south of 3 at the moment. The volume's really drying up though. Look at that down and to the right volume profile. Not a good look if you're trading this based on liquidity. QSI, a holdover from Friday and a holdover from Thursday, in fact. Great day Thursday, consolidative day, did bupkis. Friday, today, we take out Thursday's highs for a 170 continuation, up another clean 11%. I'm talking about QSI. And then Rich Boy selling crack, all them haters want to check. Rich Tech Robotics, up again. Your boy Joey Options has always been interested in this. I always apprise him. 534 high, traded at 520 right now. Umpteen amount of respect levels, or wicks, excuse me, into the 10 EMA. We're respected, so 515, 510 is a good area to pick up. Rich Tech Robotics up a nice 17% or thereabouts on the day. And last but not least, BOXL. This was putting in some support levels at the volume weighted average price. For the most part, it's, you know, until right now, it was putting in a higher low, higher high kind of pattern, with basically that breakout coming in at 630, and then we put in higher highs 3 subsequent times after that 630 spike. Alas, it does feel like we may lose that higher low pattern if we do break below that 550. Current area low is about 5 2/3. So we haven't quite given up that 5.5 yet. So those are the 8 that I'm looking at right now, but I'm likely going to want to execute on NVNI, Rich Tech Robotics, and maybe KOD, Joey. If we get that break above the trend line, I'm a buyer there. Those are the ones I'm looking at right now. If there are any other new ones, tag myself or Joseph. Let us know which small cap gappers you're looking at, and we'd be more than willing to cover that for you.
Absolutely. All right, guys, let's take a look at some of this crypto space here. I was talking with some contract talks with some people in the chat. Yeah, and they're not doing too good. So you have this big move up, and then I'm like, all right, let's wait for the pullback. I average in a little bit to this pullback, and then boom, smoked here. So yeah, it's not too fun. It's honestly not a great time. But we'll figure it out. We'll find a way to manage it. It's either writing or just accepting the loss for what it is. But we don't want to panic, right? Just in case it does come back into south of 4K, we have a lot of time, so we're going to be patient and we're just going to work our way around it. You don't want to get too down or anything along those lines. Just write your game plan down. That's what I was doing this morning, just thinking in my head while I was driving here bright and early. When I opened my eyes and I seen everything, it just goes into instant, all right, what can we do to mitigate the potential losses if the space isn't going to continue to climb higher? Katina Man was talking, a lot of people were talking about, we got a new all-time high in most of the major averages across the board. But then you have the crypto space not doing so well. And you know what? It's the fact that, hey, during that FOMC meeting, we're like, all right, you're getting that rate cut. Now let's see if the crypto space can move and start heading in towards the all-time highs. We know that the rate cut is bullish for small caps, right? They have to borrow less, or their cost of borrowing is less. And I was thinking the same here with this, but it doesn't seem to be the case. You got to watch out for Bitcoin heading towards 107. And again, I'm gonna take this phrase from Kramer. I'm honestly leaning towards just own it, don't trade it, right? And I think that's what you have to do, is just buy and forget it. Forget that you own it, put it in the long term. I did buy a little bit more Ethereum in my long term this morning, but as for the swings, we're not doing too pretty on that one, but we'll figure something out because that's what we do. Now, as for intraday trading, here comes NVDL right back towards the volume weighted average price. Apple continuing to grow, and we don't need to talk too much about that considering Katina Man and Obi were trading that this morning. Fantastic stuff. We like seeing that. And with that being said, let's take a look at their options chain, and then that's going to be it, right? Then we're not going to go on about the names that these guys were talking about earlier in the day. And then sure enough, 255, 86,500 contracts. That's volume, but open interest, we have 18,600. So maybe you'll find a little bit of a wall there, but again, it's continuing its move higher, and I was thinking about getting a move back to the volume-weighted average price in the TQs, but nuh-uh. Not with Apple moving the way it is, because it can just blow the top off. Now, as for that 245 strike, guys, we have 51,700 contracts still currently open. 45,800 closed. So that's something positive. Lots of OI, considering last week's expiration at that 255 strike price. You had over 1 million contracts traded on that day, Shreve.
All right, Joey, options. I'm in a couple of trades. We're doing okay for now on SKBL. Long here into the 10 EMA. A couple of beak wetters looking for continuation above 3. Kind of the same look here with NVNI pulling into the 10 EMA, picking it up there, leaving a little bit of room for the stop. But I hear you guys, and I see it as well. IPW, all sorts of strong south of the $1 area, dealing with the dollar right now as we speak. It's a 107 high on IPW. This is, I want to say, the volume just started coming in at 105. So let's see if this one wants to hold the dollar area, or is it going to zig and zag with the dollar? So it's a 109 high now as we pop up into local area highs here on IPW. I don't know what the catalyst for this is. We'll keep an eye on it. I'm not seeing anything on my blotter currently on IPW, but we don't really need one for these small cap gappers. It's up 110%, okay? So the strength is there. I'm just not punching in because I'm unsure whether we've cleared, the dollar by a substantial amount for me to be able to say I can use it as a support level. I'll continue to watch this, but it's definitely one I'm very interested in given the price and given the price action. So that's what I'll keep my eye on there. Wow, there goes SKBL into the highs. Now it's taken out all my orders. It behooves me to throw out some here into 18, and then I'm going to throw out some into the quarter dollar. Here comes right into my 18 area. Can we cross and get the fill? The answer is yes. We are really going here on SKBL, despite the fact that it's not the biggest percentage winner on the day. Showing 20s now. Can we shake the seller at 20s? Pack my patience and see, okay? I'm going to hold this one. Let's see what we can get. But I'm going to keep my eye on IPW. Oh, Corey Ewing dropping cash in the chat. Shout out to my man, Corey.
Yo, Corey.
Cherish. Oh, boy. My guy. Why, bro? Cherish is okay, man. You know, that's not a bad word, right? So, my guy, still holding on to DraftKings. You were on the money about this, holding to 40 support last week. Your thoughts going forward? Holding $47 call options until November 21st. We'll go to Adair in a second. What we're going to do right now is I'm going to look at the TA, and Joey Option is going to look at the options for you. So let's go here, DKNG. Let's find out what Donkey Kong is looking like at these levels. So the $40 level, like you and I were discussing last week, yeah, it seems to be an interesting area coming in. Look, we're still consolidative to no end, man. It's the $30 area that I really like, but I think we're well away from that with the top end being 50. Most of the time, you're not going to get 30. The outlying times you'll get 30. It looks like 35.50 is a level you'll encounter a little bit more, maybe 35.50 to 35. You'll have more like getting in, but it's that 50 area that bothers me because that's the resistance level. That's what's keeping everybody down. I think we need to clear that 50 on a decisive basis, and you did get that clearing in March, but it was very short-lived, and then you double-topped again over here back in early August. Should we send it to Adara quickly, and then we'll come back and have a look at the options?
Sure. Yeah, sure.
All right, go ahead, Adara.
Keep an eye here in XYZ. I'm not seeing any news on this one, but it is dropping. The volume on this decrease, again, is not super significant compared to other volume, but this is a notable drop. So block XYZ down more than 2%. If I see news on it, I will let you know. It's also worth noting here, U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said that he's going to be interviewing 2 more Fed candidates later this week. By the end of next week, they will have 10 of their total 11 candidates being interviewed. Now, also now that the Fed meeting has already happened, Bessent says he's also going to be interviewing regional bank presidents and existing Fed board members. They're going to be narrowing the list of interviewed candidates by next week. So, yeah, in terms of being asked if he's a Fed chair candidate, Scott Bessent once again said that he does not want to be in the running for that position. Back to you.
Thank you for that. Yeah, we'll take a look at those DraftKings. I'm assuming you meant 47.5. So here's DKNG. There it is at that 47 strike. You're a big part of that volume there, my friend. So nice look there. Corey, any relations to Pat? There you go, 47.5. Not too bad of a look. I mean, the volume is really, really low, but that's 60 days out. So best of luck to you. You pulled up the daily on that thing, right? And you
yes,
took a look
I did.
at it?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
What
so,
did you think?
Yeah, I can take a look at that for you. Okay. I know someone. We're gonna pull up Adam. Don't worry. We're gonna pull up CoreWeave momentarily. Let's pull up DKNG and take a look from the daily standpoint. Football is back and in full effect. Now, is it going to start to break out? I think so. It's looking like it, to be honest with you. I like all this indecision at those lows. Lots of bottoming tail right there. And that's just buying pressure, right? Continuous buying pressure. Look what happened on the previous candle that had something similar with that. Doesn't crack the low, and then it continues to climb higher. So as long as you hold that 41.86 level, I think you're going to be sitting pretty. So, yeah, good look there. Crypto space is getting absolutely rocked. Apple continuing to move to the top side. Let's take a look at CoreWeave for our guy, Adam. Healing pain naturally. Gap fill on what? What time frame are you looking at there, my friend? I don't see any.
Alex, chill, bro.
What happened? Oh, Alex, yeah, PLTR, yeah. I mean, exactly. Today is not the day. So there is. It's on, bro. True, I'm telling you, it ain't. Today ain't it.
I know this guy so well now. I've known him like not even over a year, like barely over a year.
Yeah.
But I'll know immediately if he's in a good or bad mood. Immediately.
So yeah,
brother.
Guy, yeah. So there it is. I don't see any gap there, Adam. So again, not looking too bad. A bounce off of those $85 lows, and then now you're trading at 127 roughly. So good luck.
All right, so shout out Joey. All right, guys, I got into IPW, really small share size here. I don't trust it. 88 loses, we're out. Simple as that. It's going to have to hold 88. Because, well, it's just a random name, and I have to have some sort of risk management parameters. So we're long at 93. It's showing me 92. It'll zig and zag likely. What I'm looking for is a reclaim of the dollar and perhaps a continuation above the dollar. That's my move right now on IPW. We're going to risk very little here. So that's what I'm looking at. But we're still in NVNI, looking for a move back up. One beak wetter goes. And then back to SKBL. This has got a seller of note here at 320, and we can't shake that seller at 320, and we haven't been able to the last couple of attempts, and I've been watching, trust me, bro. Shout out to Raider. So that's the look. All right, back to IPW, popping back up into 96, 97. Can we get a clearing? We get the 98 print. Can we get the dollar now? So we're working our way up, but there's a seller in and around that dollar area. Not surprising, obviously, as shorts are going to look to get in or to take a short position at the whole dollar level. Longs will look to take profit at the $1 level, and here we are at that dollar again. And now we're getting the print to the dollar. Okay, good look. So now we're going to set up at 5s. Let's see if we can get a little bit more here. Now, the high of the day is 110, so I don't think I'm asking for too much here for a 5 print. So we'll continue to watch that. Again, nothing changes about my trade on this. It loses 88, I lose the long. So it's really that simple. Shout out to my man Ozan. Shake that, sell for 4. Sharif, again, leave me alone, bro. I'm still recovering. I think I got COVID, man. It's yeah, bro. I think because I lost taste.
Oh no!
So you know
man.
right away when you lose taste. But that's the thing. Like I didn't get fever.
Okay.
I got a little bit of shivers. Not gonna lie. You know me. To get shivers is a statement because I'm constantly a human heat pump,
that's
right?
Good.
So I'm pretty sure I got COVID.
Oh man.
Yeah, sorry, Joey. Sorry, Joey. Love you, brother. But yeah, the germs do not care. They float around wherever they want. You can thank your friend over here.
Yeah.
For you know exactly who I'm talking about there. So, all right, continuing to watch IPW as it zigs and zags. But COVID feels like a slap on the wrist now.
Does it?
It's not the stuff that we were getting back in the day.
Oh, brother.
No.
I didn't even know what it was. No. I remember
it's lightweight now.
My friend and I were in Dominican at the time, and then we're coming back, and then that's when it was like shortly after that is when it was released. Yeah. And after, I was so deadly sick. I was like the worst flu I ever experienced, but I didn't like know that it was COVID at the time.
Nobody
and
did,
I never ever tested positive for it. I didn't at the time. I didn't get tested.
Were. Yeah.
Yeah, but and after that, I never did. But yeah, I was deadly sick after that. After that Dominican trip on New Year's, man, with the lads. So
your friend James, I think he's probably up on the day.
Is he?
Go home, you germ on roids.
Yeah.
All right, bro, man. I'm sorry. No, like you're probably down on the day. Maybe the girl left him or something's going on there. We're doing it live, Joey, on IPW. Looks like we're gonna get caught in an uphold over here. Well, we did momentarily. We did pop up into that 112 area, 111, excuse me. We got the beak wet there, but this is all sorts of strong. Here we go, back up to the upside. Now we're showing the halt parameter at 112. Looks like we're going to get caught in this up halt, and that I am absolutely okay with. It's the down halts that I don't like getting caught in. No, false halt we go. Let's see if we can advance a little bit more now that we've put in the halt parameter and come out of it. So let's continue to watch now, showing 11s. Let's see if we can get back up to that 13 print on the ask and see if we start triggering that halt parameter. But right now, we're going to zig and zag for a little bit. So packing my patience on this one. Let's see what we get to the high side, Joey options. It's a 112 high right now on IPW. And there it goes into another high of the day, 115. Let's set up at 115 here at the high. We're going to look to take that bad boy out if it continues up there. So what's happening here, guys, in case you're a newer small cap trader, is the halt timer starts running from a certain time. You don't know exactly when, you don't know exactly what level it's going to halt at unless you have some sort of tool that helps you with that. I've been dying for that for years. And then once you're out of that timer, so the timer starts triggering once you start moving about 10% within 5 minutes. And if that 10% then restarts once that 5-minute counter also restarts. So that's why we got to the halt parameter there. So I took some levels. I took a print, at 115. Currently showing me 110s. Let's see what we got on this bad boy over here to the high side. Yeah, we still got some beak wetters. Let's let this one run and see how high we can get up on this one. NVNI though, still hanging out at the $0.25. It looks like it's going to lose. Excuse me, it's going to lose the 10 EMA on the 5. We only have one profit taker on this one, so probably behooves me to get another one out here since this one's shown its intensity, or propensity, I should say, to really not rocket back up to the upside. And then last but not least, Joey, SKBL, we're still hanging out here above $3, which is important, but we really need to take out that 320 seller because we popped up there a couple of times and we couldn't shake that seller. So let's see what we can get on the last little bit here.
All right, good look there, brother, as always. Yeah, so all right, guys, I'm super heavy here on Ethereum. I'm just risking essentially all of my realized profits on this one to see if we can get a little pop. I'm not expecting it to go all the way back to the volume-weighted average price. So let's see if we can get anything. If it cracks that low, then we'll just hop out and then be flat on the day. But yeah, I just mentioned that we're going heavy. I don't know if it's the best asset to do so, considering that we had the nice move up in Bitcoin earlier in the session. Wow, Apple's still going. And then, yeah, exactly. So now we're looking for this. Buyer step in will be much appreciated. If it breaks down, then you got to take the swings, right? So what I seen on the 1 minute time frame told me to get involved in this name. There goes the market, another pop. Again, yeah, this thing is going absolutely nuts. This is a big time breakout like we experienced in what's it called? Tesla. Boom, there it is, hammer candle. We have that volume supporting it, one of the largest on the session. So that's going to give me a little conviction behind the setup. Patience, patience, patience. If we get a pop in Bitcoin, I'm sure that we'll get another move up here in Ethereum. And let's go. Yeah, come on, break through this 62 level, and then we might get a nice little pop. There it goes, 62s, bang, 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 almost printing 63s, not quite. Almost there, though. I don't want to take anything off just yet, considering we're not too far in the money. Matter of fact, only a couple of cents, but we'll take it. It's more of a slow mover. CRWE is moving, so nice look there, Adam. Nice. Now it's coming back in. Fantastic. NVDA, we had that little scalp, but more or less consolidative, right? So you're just trading within this couple dollar range. Boom, boom, right there on NVDA. Chip space relatively weak. And then also, one thing that I was looking at over the weekend was Broadcom. I like this signal on the daily time frame. Let's see what we got going on. And I like this hammer candle right here for a potential bounce. So keep your eyes on this. A nice average into the 339s. You only have to risk about $5, $10, not even $10, like $5, $7, and then sure enough, you can look for a 2-to-1 risk to reward on that, and that'd be that push towards the previous pivot high there. So yeah, that's what I'm cooking up in here. Nice, Bitcoin just take another leg lower, which isn't good. Ethereum still holding up, so maybe we'll get a bounce there.
Here's that 320 level again, guys, on SKBL. We work into that level. We can't shake the seller. That is the exact day high, but it's preceded by higher lows. So if I had to guess, and that's all that it is, a statistical possibility that we do clear that 320. In fact, we are. It's a 321 high of day now, 22 high of day. Can we continue up? I've got my profit taker at 23 for a beak wetter, but we're going to let this one continue to run. SKBL momentarily took out the 20 seller, but it's not what I expected. I thought when we took out that 20 seller, because we've been rejecting that level multiple times, we'd get more continuation. Not exactly, you know, a breakout or anything, but a continuation. We're not getting that right now. So we continue to trend at 20, and top out at 20. Let's see if we can move up a little bit more. IPW is halted down. I'm long 93. It's halted at 92. I have one profit taker left on this. We're going to see what the tap is. I saw momentarily about 10 seconds ago, it showed the tap as 110. Now the tap is showing 92, exactly the level that we got halted down at. So IPW still above the 10 EMA on the 5, but below the dollar. So that is concerning to me at the moment. So I only have one profit taker left. I will hold this unless it loses 88. Nothing changes different on my plan about how to trade IPW. If it loses 88, I end the trade. Simple as that. So that's what I'm looking at right now. Let's continue to watch NVNI. NVNI now, this does concern me a little bit, okay? And why do I say that? It's holding above the 10. It's not like it's below the 10 and rejecting the 10 and using the 10 as resistance as opposed to support. But it's also putting in lower highs, right? So I need to be alive to that fact as well, because that means the sellers are a little bit more in control on every successive candle development here, at least on the 5, because that's the level off which I'm charting. So I'd like to see some continuation here from NVNI. It's certainly not how it's trading on the day with a 138 high now pulling down below 130. We're long at 28s, we're showing 29s. That's not why I'm in the trade though. So we're gonna keep tabs on that. Rich Tech Robotics will be my focus when we get back from a dinner.
Yeah, it is crypto time. We're going to start here, though, by talking about a Fed member, Fed's Muslim, that is the president of the Fed Reserve Bank of St. Louis. And he made some comments today that actually did involve stablecoins. He said he really just talked about the importance of adhering to interest limitations on stablecoin payments under the Genius Act. Furthermore, with regards to the use of stablecoins, Fed's Muslim believes that stablecoins should mostly be used as payments or for the purpose of payments rather than being used as instruments for savings. So some commentary here on how stablecoins should be used coming from Fed's Muslim. We'll also talk here about Bitmine Immersion, BMNR. This one, pre-market did have a catalyst. The company announced their Ethereum holdings now exceed 2% of the Ethereum network. This is over 2.4 million tokens, with their total in crypto and cash holdings exceeding, or I guess approximating $11.4 billion. So $11.4 billion here in holdings for BMNR between crypto and cash. They actually apparently hold more than 2% of total Ethereum network here with regards to their ETH holdings. They also announced a $365.24 million registered direct offering of 5.2 million shares, $70 a share. There's going to be also 10.4 million warrants here being offered, $87.50 per share. Stock trading right now around $55. This is the daily chart before we send you back to Sharif and Joe. Let's talk about Bitcoin. BTC taking a bit of a tumble here. We did stabilize a little bit. A lot of the weekend trading relatively flat or chopping around. This morning we did take a bit of a drop, opening here above 115,000. Low of day just under 112,000. Currently around 112,700. Back to you.
Everybody's yelling about GME, so let's take a look here. Not my fave to trade, but you know, if it's your favorite, then it's an obligation on me to look. And this is a good looking chart pattern, Joey. I mean, I rarely trade GME. I have on the show. It's up 4 1/3 today. And Joey, guess what, man? It's working its way back into that $30 level that we were holding at. Can you keep it down, Ram? $30 was a level that this one was basically using for a little bit of time. And then we lost it substantially, started using 20 as a level. And here we go, breaking back above the 200 moving average. But this is all sorts of consolidative, man. And it has been in this range since 22. I mean, it was using 20 as support back in 22 with that same $40 range. I don't know how to feel about GME as anything other than an intraday trade, but it's got a good looking, you know, I want to say 2 weeks or so, really took out that 50 period right at the beginning of this month. September 8th, we got above the 50 period. September 9th, we got above the 200, and we've been above the 200 EMA on the daily since that time. So GME, good looking, decent daily if you're looking for a range, and a great looking intraday chart. It was a money buy off VWAP, and then here we go, making another new high, 27.31. Nothing to complain about this name. So yeah, man, if it maybe pops back down into the 20 EMA on the 5, right around $27, I could be a buyer here because it's shown most of the time it's finding support off the 10. At the times when it does lose the 10, it's a little bit ahead of the 20. So I could certainly be persuaded to get in here for a nice little trade. Keep an eye out on that. So yeah, one B quitter on NVNI. We're still waiting for that 20 print on SKBL, which has been elusive. And then we did exactly what we said we would do on IPW. Lost 88. We ended up getting out at 88, and now it's losing the entire trade. It's down to 68. So that's 20 pennies ago we got out on IPW. Use risk management skills, guys. And then last but not least, KOD, Joey, not KODK, but KOD. Great looking chart. Couple of bull flags as we've talked about, and here we go. Could this be the breakout through the second bull flag, the top end of the second bull flag? My humble submission is 1375, despite the fact that the high of the day is 1389. So it's one bull flag from here, second bull flag from here, longer consolidation for the second bull flag, but as we've spoken about, no two bull flags are created equal. And here we go. This could be the possible breakout of the third bull flag, KOD, excuse me. Up 42 and a third, Joey.
Okay, good look. So, all right, guys, we got all out of the Ethereum. So, a nice little scalp there. We took 50% off, stopped out the other 50%, and you can see it's starting to come back in at just break even right there. So, not too bad. We'll take a small little scalp on that one, considering I told you guys I was risking essentially all the realized that I had on the day. And we'll take a little pop. Defenders right there at that 31.64 level. I pulled up the chain. There's nothing substantial at that 62 or at that 32 strike price. So, I'm curious to see what's going on there. I'm going to be patient because, as Katina Man mentioned earlier in the day, Ethereum is down about 18% off of those all-time highs, so maybe we'll get somewhat of a bounce. Tom Lee now owning 2% of all Ethereum tokens, which is absolutely insane.
He wanted that though, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Wasn't he aiming for something like that?
Probably something like that. I think he's going to grab. He's probably going to buy more, so I wouldn't be surprised if that number continuously increased. I wonder, what was the, I know Adara would know this, how much of a percentage metric does Michael Saylor own of Bitcoin? I know it's
I don't know the percentage actually.
You don't know the
because
percentage?
I feel like with MSTR they don't really tout the percentage to the, like, I've never even heard them say a percentage, honestly.
Yeah,
I'm sure we can figure that out though,
because
it's like 20. What is there? 20-something million Bitcoin, and then he has like 500,000-600,000 of them. So yeah, I'm sure we can quick maths on that one if anybody.
It's been spoken about.
Yeah,
I'll find out for you.
Oh, you got the.
We'll find
there you go. You got it on sale. You're asking OGP, or I thought you were on the old code.
5, yeah.
5%.
But you don't know GPT-5.
Slow.
Let me tell you, GPT-5 is slow as hell. Oh my God.
What the hell?
Yeah, I know. I don't know. Dude, this is what I got to deal with every day.
That's
it's
crazy.
Quite slow.
Yeah, that's moving really, really slow up there. Apple coming off those highs. Let's go over the top performing sectors on the day. I'm glad that we got out of that Ethereum trade. Nice little scalp there, considering the overall space is weak.
2.7 to 3.2.
Oh, okay, all right. That's a good amount of Bitcoin.
Yeah.
I mean, congratulations. Hopefully his game plan works out, because I'm riding with you there, my brother, Michael Saylor. Even though I don't really love who he is, to be honest with you. But anyways, that's here nor there. All right, guys, technology sector is the top performing one, up 0.4, closer to 0.5%. And then we got consumer discretionary holding on by a thread, less than 0.1%. And then we have the healthcare sector down about 0.1% there. And then we have the real estate sector down 0.7, energy down 0.9, and then we have the consumer staples down 1.5. So there it is, top and worst performing sectors. Staples taking it on the nose. What has Walmart been up to? Let's take a look at what.
Been up to?
What is? Let's find out here, man. Because I was listening to some of their their e-commerce growth has just been absolutely through the roof, and that's what you and I have been talking about for some time there. So not too bad of a look. You're consolidating, but I think with this name, the longer the consolidation, the larger the breakout, obviously. So if you can catch the lower end of the ranges, I think you'll be off just fine. Adara, what do you got for us?
So Google, just so you guys know, this is dropping, or it was dropping fairly aggressively. It's already recovered some of this move. I'm not seeing any news on this, but be aware this has dropped. There's not even really any social media attention on this move either. Now, I also want to mention, I didn't hear if you guys said this yet, but I did look into how much Bitcoin, or what percentage of Bitcoin is owned by Michael Saylor. Apparently, it's roughly 3.1% is what I'm seeing of total Bitcoin. Back to you.
Thank you very much for thank you very much for that one there. Oh, there goes Ethereum. I want to get back into this. I like the bottoming signals here. We'll wait for one more pullback. Considering it is relatively choppy, I believe that we'll get it. But here it is, right at some key support levels. Buying pressure, starting to step in a little bit more, and you're starting to see a bounce there in Bitcoin Tree.
All right, guys, we're doing it live here on SKBL. There it goes, taking out the $0.25. That is the high of the day, 325 SKBL, putting my next profit taker at the third of $1. Keeping my eye on NVNI, but there's another one to bring to your attention. Oh, I don't even want to bring this to your attention because it's halted down now. But let's talk about this other one that we brought to your attention earlier. And I should have listened to you guys on this one. I didn't like the chart pattern on SLNH. I was wrong. You guys were right. Especially, I think, Amir. Amir has been pounding the table in the chat on Amir Barak on SLNH since we got right live on the show. So for 40 minutes. And the reason I didn't like it is because the lower highs seem to be more of the operative part of the pattern than the fact that it was holding up at VWAP. I was wrong. I read this one wrong because it held the 50 penny area like a glove. In fact, it didn't even make its way down to 50. Low of this area is 53. So if you just earmarked the $0.50 as your line in the sand, and you wouldn't have had to risk that much, let me tell you. And the reason is because we were hanging out from 11.10 to basically 11.30 at this volume weighted average price area, which was about $1.60. So all you really needed to do was risk 10, maximum 15 pennies south of that 150 area, and oh baby, were you rewarded. You were rewarded and then some. Look at this one go, man. It's taking out highs. SLNH is about to break 100% on the day, 89%. That's a new high a day into 208, and it's got the volume profile in the bottom right to support the price action. Alas, I've seen this one do this before. Look at the topping tail candle right at 1040 when it made that new intraday high. When it makes an intraday high, as we've spoken about with some of these small cap gappers, some of them, especially if they've shown it to be the case intraday already, will retrace off that making of an intraday high, drop back down into a key area of technical support. So don't fall in love with the breakout trade. Always look for support and resistance. We're going to pause for a sec and go to Adira.
Might have a pseudo small cap here for you, Sharif. I say pseudo because PCT here, Pure Cycle Technologies, this one getting a little bit of a pop. It does have a market cap around $2.5 billion. Short float, though, of over 20%. Now, why is this moving? The Street here, which is, I guess, a stock-related website, they're calling PCT as a potential long idea. So PCT on watch here, again, decent short float over 20%, and this is on the Russell 2000 with a $2.5 billion market cap. Back to you.
Great call. Thank you for that, Adira. I said I'd look at Rich Tech Robotics, and I digressed, not we, I did. Look, this is a great looking chart pattern on the day, and I hate to sound like a broken record, but the 10 EMA on the 5 is what I'm looking at here. You got it already from 10:30 to 10:45, held up great. You got it again at 11:05 to 11:15, held up great. And here we are yet with another high of the day, just south of that $0.50, 545. Let's see if that 530 or 5 high 20s, where the 10 EMA is right now, ends up holding up. Rich Tech, it's not, your typical small cap gapper, Joey. In fact, this is almost $1 billion, technically still a small capper, 858 million, but one that we've seen many times. Anyway, up 20% on the day. I'm a buyer likely here into the 10 EMA on the 5, right at 530. If it loses, I want to say 520, we will risk 10 pennies on this. It's going to be the end of the trade. 520 is not a random area. In fact, it's a price action spike resistance right at 1020. Pops into 520, rejects it. We end up claiming it back after that. So I'm going to be looking to get in at Rich Tech right at that 530 area if it will allow me to. So that's what I'm looking at now. Quickly before we get back, yes, finally, NVNI taking out highs, holding the 10 EMA like a glove. The next level for me to print, 137. We're showing 35s right now, Joey.
Nice. I'm just messaging my boy Gorev on X. Yeah, and I seen you just tagged me. I'm writing you a message just to tell you what's going on. Yeah, down, 1500. There we go. I sent you that. Yeah, so we got to figure something out. Nice look there. Let's go through some of the top volume names as well. That's going to help us find some potential setups. Stock scanner, and then there we go, bang. This is the most simplistic criteria. Like it's anything over 10, 15 bucks, I believe, and then over 1 million shares, right? So this is what I run for my scanner. INTC with 56 million shares traded on the session. TSLL with 9. Ooh, no. With oh no. There we go. Joey? We got it. We figured it out, brother. And then 94.9 million there on TSLL. NVDA. Nice breakup here, but again, I mentioned this, the choppy price action. We'll do some basic trend line analysis. So you do have a flat top there relatively, but one thing to note is that you're forming these consistent higher lows. That's positive. If this trend breaks it to the downside, look for some more in that specific direction. RGTI, oh my God, that's crazy. I think
we're getting these are heavy.
Oh my days.
Oh.
Just like another continuous breakout. Look at this daily, Sharif. I mean the intraday.
That's beautiful. Look at that breakout. Look at that bull flag breakout.
Yeah, it's
crazy. Would you
Yeah.
expect a consolidation level here, or is it just going to be direct? Because you got that first bull flag. Now that seems to be like the formation of the bull of the second bull
From
flag.
an intraday standpoint,
Isn't that daily?
Yeah, no, this
That's
is intraday.
intra.
Yeah, this bro, you don't even want
wow.
to see the daily. Look at the daily.
No.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. days. Shout out to the movie Seven Psychopaths, if you ever seen that one there. Palantir, I know Adara, I got the clap from Adara on that one. Okay, BMNR doesn't want to pull up on the old chart ski. Oh, there it is, bang. I mean, this thing's not getting dinged nearly as hard as what Ethereum is up to. I think that's maybe just considering the treasury. I would like to take another pop at it. Risk profile is relatively defined. We can risk about 5 cents on this ETH bounce off this consolidation low. And then if it cracks, then you just get out. Bitcoin's starting to move back in towards the volume weighted average price. So that's good. Do I talk about it or do I just take it? I'm going with the latter half. We just take it, Sharif. We got a little bit of risk. I haven't put anything on. I put on literally 10% on what I had compared to that previous position. So we'll see, and we'll wait if those 31.55 continues to hold up. If it does, we'll add a little bit, but nothing substantial, but considering how weak the space is. Look at this gap down. Oh, my days. Sharif messaged me last night. He's like, yo, Tesla's liquid. I'm like, say less, my friend. What do? We hop on the old computer. I didn't take anything. I was just looking at it. I didn't see anything that I liked necessarily, but I'm loving this blue ocean stuff.
When I messaged you, it was at 250,000 shares.
Yeah,
and it had been like, we were like 20 minutes deep.
Yeah, like 15.
15,
20
And I figured it obviously had something to do with your friend Elon and your other friend Donald there at the Charlie Kirk Memorial, sitting next to one another. Obviously, Elon taking the opportunity to post a picture of him and Donald together in it looked like a box that they were sitting at to say, for Charlie. I read that as sort of an informal reconciliation. We'll have to see exactly how that ends up being in the future.
One last thing here.
Both very volatile people.
Yeah. I mean, it was good to see him. And our boy Dana White was sitting.
Yeah, he was right there. You figured
right
he probably had something to do with that.
So there you go. Good look on that front. There's Applied Digital. So shout out to this name, man. We were trading it a while ago, and now it's just absolutely skyrocketing to the top side. There goes Ethereum cracking the lows. I'm glad we didn't go too heavy on that one. I'll probably hop out and take a small loss on it. Oh, yeah, I'm most definitely.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Garbage.
All right, Joey, here's the deal. We got involved in Rich Tech, or Rich Tech Robotics. Where are we long? We're 528 long. It's showing me 28s. We didn't get any prints yet. My entry here is based upon the retracement into the 10 EMA. So I'm going to risk 10 pennies. In fact, I'm risking less because I got in at 28s. I'm going to risk to 20. So if it gets to 20, it loses 20, it ends the trade for me. Simple as that. I'm looking for a continuation back into that $0.50. It's a 545 high on Rich Tech. It loses 20, we're out of the trade. A little annoyed with NVNI. I mean, like, come on, bro. If you're going to work your way up into my level, give me the print, So works its way up into 37s. It doesn't cross. We don't get the print, so we'll have to pack our patience on that. But I have to bring your attention. Yes, Yannick, I see it, sir. I'm going to have to bring your attention to ARBB. It is halted right now to the high side. It's all sorts of strong. It's one that we already know about because it was doing this on Friday. Yes, this is all of Friday's price action right here. As you can see, it started running in the aftermarket. In fact, it started really getting the volume printed at about 15 minutes after the bell at 4:15. These ones have a way of trading better in the aftermarket and the pre-market as a result of the lack of volatility help parameters. And by the time 8 p.m. came, we were about 9.5, give or take. We close out at about 9.5 at around Friday at 8, which is obviously when this stops trading. In fact, 9.5 does look like a very important level of resistance, at least intraday. Once, twice, OBE is the one thrice, and then another rejection into that 9.5. Now, I get these ones wicked above it, but look at the closing prints. Now, we are decidedly above 9.5, so we can use it as resistance, but we're also below Friday aftermarket's high, 1140 high, currently halted 1121. I'm talking about ARBB. So let's take a gander over here. Oh man, SKBL, you are the beauty I thought you were. Let's go. Let's give me that print, SKBL.
Give it to him.
Good job, SKBL, you little beaut. All right, we're gonna look over.
They work for you.
Let's look at ARBB, Joey. Let me stop talking to these stocks like a psycho and start doing some TA. So right now, Joey, we're halted at 1121, but we're showing a top of 1194. That pleases me greatly. Now, here's what I need to look at right now. I need to see what time it is. 11:49:51. This halted at 11:43:12. So we are already going to be more than 5 minutes. It's going to be 10-minute halt or more. If this one would have opened after 5, it would have opened 11:48:12. It is 11:50:10 right now, so we're going to have to wait till at least 11:53:12 for your very good friend over here, ARBB, on the NQ up 80% to open. Currently showing me a top of 1190. What does this thing do? Give me a second. Singapore-based company engaged in provision of hardware and software Internet of Things for business lines. Look, bro, cut the crap. Did they add crypto to the balance sheet or not? All right, like cut the crap. Let's see, I'm looking over here, Joey. Let me just see what this one's up to.
So?
No, we're getting nothing on it. We got nothing on, what day was the Friday? The 19th, right?
Yes.
I got nothing on the 19th. I got nothing on the weekend, and I got nothing today. So this one, I mean, if anybody can tell me why ARBB is moving, I'd really like to know. I'd really appreciate you guys. But I have no idea why the hell this one is moving. So we'll have to trade it blind, and that's really, not my favorite thing to do, quite frankly, because they can be a little bit volatile that way. So that's all I've got at the moment. SKBL, this one popped up into 45. It didn't take any prints. I'm going to continue to pack my patience. NVNI working right back into that area high. How many shares do we have on NVNI? We can wet the beak here. Let's take out some here. And then we're going to wait for 37s after that. And then last but not least, Rich Boy selling crack. We took a quick print there, but no continuation on Rich Tech Robotics.
No continuation, yeah. I'm EFFJ. I know it's FJ, but I don't think so, man. To be honest with you, we took the scalp on it earlier, and then we get back in roughly around the same price. There's some key signals, but they're not holding up not holding up really well. So there's that hammer candle at the lows. I think Bitcoin's just a little bit stronger, so cracks that low. We hop out of that one. No biggie. Take a small paper cut on that one. How I contact you for, DM me on X there, brother. DM me on X, and we'll see if we can set you up with something there. Oh. Thanks for being a good sport. Once again,
Joey.
Well, I mean, I blocked him on Friday by accident. Yeah, he got wrongfully.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah, he got wrongfully
I feel bad for that guy.
Yeah, he got wrongfully convicted. So you know what I mean. So
he's due some money from the state.
Yeah, exactly.
You do some time, you better get paid.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
He did 24 hours, man. So way to be a good sport. I don't know if I could do 24 hours. So thank you for that
crazy.
one. Look at the strength in this name here, guys. We don't even gotta repeat what it is. And then AAL. Yeah, I mean, some of these airline stocks taking it on the nose here, getting a little bounce off of VWAP. What's Rivian up to? Oh. Okay, a nice slow grind to the top side.
Yes. Yeah. It's like mid-2000s.
Yeah, it's the best.
Song day right
That's
now.
Skateboard P, man. AMD, what are you up to on the daily? How far are we off of this previous all-time high from peak trough? So you did get that 20% pullback there, and that's what we're experiencing.
Joey, can we interrupt, please?
Yeah, absolutely.
ARBB's open, guys. Here we go. The madness is open. The craziness is ready, and it looks like we are on our way to 13. And there goes 13. Joseph, here's the hot parameter. 13.21, showing 24 is on the ask. It needs 10 seconds at this level to gray out. What I mean by graying out, you're going to see my level 2, which is beautifully colored in blue, go gray. There it is. And now we are halted to the upside on ARBB. Adara double-checked to see if there was anything afoot on ARBB. Said no news, but is getting plenty of social media attention. Thank you, Adara, for checking and keeping us apprised. Again, I'm seeing nothing on it. That does concern me a little bit, because you just don't know, right, whether somebody's accumulating to pull the rug or when the rug's going to get pulled or all that stuff. Like, there's no, discernible reason why it should be up that we know about anyway. So it's done volume, Joey, even though this one's halted a bunch of times, about 3.5 million shares. I want to bring that to your attention. The top, almost $1 higher from where we halted. 13.21, that is. The halt, 14.14. The top, the madness is back.
$2.
Be careful. Sorry to interrupt you, Joey.
No, don't apologize there. All right, so we got a trend line that we're battling right now. Breaks it to the top side, then I think we can get off to the races. We were just looking at ETHA, so from that previous peak to where we're currently trading at, 16 3/4 right there, you're down, so maybe a good grab there. I wouldn't be surprised if you head into the 3,000 mark. Now, with that being said, let's take a look at some writings here, because I think that's the route that I'm going to be going. Only a couple days out, so next week, not this week, the following week's expiration cycle. And what do we want to write? These 38s, you're collecting absolutely nothing, so it's not even worth it there. The 35s, I think, are a little bit too risky, considering, I mean, you still have an 80% chance of these expiring worthless, but you're only collecting $41. So what am I going to sell 3 of these and collect $120? Yeah, no thanks. I mean, again, at the end of the day, it's better than nothing, but I'm not risking writing for that kind of small potatoes there. So yeah, that's what I got going on. As for the scanners, Ford coming up on the volume quite often, but never mind that name. I don't want to continuously talk about it. Here's the TQs hovering around the highs here, so that's not too bad. If Apple continues to grind, these pullbacks are going to be shallow, just like we're experiencing. Even though you are getting a little bit of a move lower, NVDA's consolidation, watch out for this bottom to be broken. Where is it? Hold on, Sharif. Where is it? I don't have it.
I don't know.
I don't have
what
it.
Do you need?
Like at the flat bottom.
Oh.
Yeah.
Say less, my man.
Bam. There you go. 175.22. That cracks. Then it's AC Slater to that, and look for some more downside. Let's take a look at their options chain to see what's going on over there. All right, so at 180, we have 98,900 contracts. What was our high of the day? 176. What do we have at that 175 strike price? 43,000 current open contracts, 38,000 closed, 177.5, 59,800, 43,200 volume on that front, but that 180 has the largest amount of OI. Let's take a look at Apple's chain, even though we did earlier. If anything has changed, any contracts have changed, nope, nothing whatsoever. So we're gonna move on to the next one, and that's gonna be the TQs.
Hey.
What's cooking over there? Nada. That's the TQs. Nada. Nothing substantial there. 4 days till expiration. That's going to be this week's expiration cycle. We ain't got nothing going on there, guys. Let me know what you got going on. Also, curious, Pug Life, where's Pug Life at, man? He's not in the chat.
What happened, Joey?
Oh, I wanted to ask Pug Life a question about options, because he's always changing it. And I don't know where Havana's at either. Where's Havana Woody?
Show yourself, Havana.
Yeah, Havana's not here either.
Let's go, baby.
Yeah, both of you guys, you're getting that phone call not showing up to class. Remember that in high school?
Bro, what phone call? Your boy had all those numbers blocked.
No
all of them.
way.
There were 3.
You were ahead of the curve.
Star
eh?
60, my man. I was blocking that before anybody knew about that
crazy,
trick.
Man.
It was to my detriment. I was a A+ goof in high school.
Yeah. Oh, that's all right, man.
University is when we started going real.
That's okay. I mean, a student in your household named Joseph Wilson has missed periods 2 and 3.
And then once I got in trouble, and then the school tried to call the house.
Oh, really?
Not a machine, but a person.
Yeah.
And they kept getting blocked.
Oh, no.
So they called my mom Dukes at work.
Yeah.
And they're like, how come we can't call the house?
Yeah.
What are
The good old excuse of I was just late. I was just late.
Oh.
And then one time I actually caught a 2-day suspension because I got one of the girls in my class to write me a note, and I handed it in to the secretary. And they're like, yeah, this isn't your grandparents' writing, buddy. And immediately, right away, they sent me into the principal's office, and they're like, all right, man, go home for a couple days. We'll see you on Wednesday. And yeah, that was my story of my suspension in high school. Forging. Don't do that. Don't try to forge.
My man, Iga Hauren. Shout out to my man, Iga Hauren. Good to see you, brother. Long time no see to you as well, my man. I hope you've been very good. I don't know where you've been at, but you got to join Joseph and I a little bit more over here. Shout out to my man Iga Hauren, which means a good guy.
He's a good guy, man.
Mandarin. Shout out to my man there in the chat. All right, guys, let's talk about this new position. We're in SLNH. Shout out to Amir. Amir has been pounding the table, as well as others. It's not just Amir, on SLNH. And we're long now at 81s. We wet the beak at 85. I do have a plan here to get a little bit more into 70 if this one loses the 10 EMA. My plan here on SLNH is to build a position at the area lows and to let my orders or put my orders as resting orders to the high side in order to get the beak wet, because we've seen this one when it makes a new high, it doesn't spend that much time there at all. It's usually a quick wick up and an even quicker move down. If that is going to be the case here on SLNH, then put them resting orders out there, man, unless you're going to be watching this and not trading anything else. So we'll keep an eye on that. Last but not least, I want to mention how's my Rich Tech doing over here? How are we doing? We're okay. We took a couple of beak wetters. Rich Tech, though, is still about 10 pennies off the high of the day. NVNI still hanging out at the third of a dollar, and SKLB off the high, but back into the 10. If I'm going to add, it should be here. This is the 10 EMA on the 5 on SKBL. If I'm going to add, it should be here. I don't think I want to add, though. Last but not least, before we go to happening now with Adara, ARBB still halted again, I think, actually. 13 to, no, it's same level, 1321. It's showing 1360 right now. I think this is a new halt level, in fact, sorry. So this one is halted again to the high side here, Joey. Be careful with this one. ARBB up big.
All right, cool. Yeah, I think we're going to Adara now with happening now. I'm gonna go to the washroom quickly.
Okay, brother.
What's happening now is a lot of, we got a lot of speakers today, including one I'm going to talk about in a minute, but I want to start here by just taking a look at this market. Again, nice look here for the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq. We have these markets continuing to make new highs amidst, I guess, ongoing optimism. A lot of this is led by tech. We know Apple's up more than 4% here, AAPL, with a positive analyst note from Wedbush analyst Dan Ives. Now, we also have U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent teasing out this Fed chair search. Apparently, by the end of next week, there will be 10 of the 11 total candidates interviewed for this position. He's also saying that he's going to be interviewing existing Fed board members now, as well as regional bank presidents, because we now have that quiet period ending after the not the S&P 500, the September Fed meeting. So that's going to be on watch. Also on watch, something else that's going to be happening later today. Kenvue is certainly going to be on everybody's radar. There are some reports that Donald Trump, during a speech scheduled today for 4 p.m., is going to announce, I guess, a link between Tylenol use in pregnancy and autism. So this actually was previously reported a while back, and those reports were denied by the Health and Human Services Department. But I guess now this is being announced. We'll have to wait and see what all comes of that. Here is Stephen Myron. He is on watch because he is currently speaking right now. I will be watching that speech. Currently, I'm not seeing that it's live yet, but there are pieces of commentary coming through. Now, why this is important as well is because last week, Myron teased that his speech today is going to include his reasoning for voting against the 25 basis point cut. Fed's Myron wanted to cut rates by 50 basis points. Over to the Bash brothers. Back to you.
Appreciate it. Just keeping my eye here on SLNH. We got a couple of beak wetters. It did pop up to 190. Sadly, didn't cross. And as a result of having my level at the 190 area on the 10, thank you, Joey, on the 10 penny area, we didn't get the cross. So that was a bit of an oversight by me, guys. I really usually put my levels, at 89, 99, 79, so that I don't have to deal with that 10 penny rejection. But this one did pop up. I'm still of the. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, something happening with NVDA here. Adara's got the news. Let's go to Adara. Big pop, volume supporting that. Big time breakout. There it goes. Katina Manny, you bought it yesterday. Adara, what do you got? Yeah, sorry, this morning. Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah, it's right here.
I have news on NVIDIA. NVDA announcing that they're going to be investing up to $100 billion in OpenAI. That is up to $1 billion to be invested in OpenAI. Their first gigawatt of their NVIDIA systems is going to be deploying in 2026. So again, we do have NVDA on watch announcing $100 billion or up to $100 billion worth of investment in OpenAI. Back to you.
I think it's good.
No?
No, at all. It's the same thing that we talked about with CoreWeave buying their excess capacity. CoreWeave can't sell it. NVIDIA will buy it. NVIDIA sells them GPUs. So NVIDIA is the vendor.
Yeah.
It's the customer. And it's whatever else. It's the vendor, customer, and investor.
Okay.
All three. I don't like that circular. No, not at all, bro. Not at all. It's not my thing. But hey, man, the market likes it. What the hell do I know, right? So keep an eye out on that. What do you got, Joey?
Yeah, same thing. We broke that downtrend line here in Ethereum. Man, this pop in NVDA is hard to avoid. Look at this consolidation. Obviously somebody knew something, right? Like, you're not doing anything, you're consolidating. Oh, guess what? Just randomly, yeah, all right, we're gonna release this pop. You punch through a bunch of resistance zones. Yeah, coincidence, whatever. But there it is. But there it is. There it is, man. I mean, Shreve, don't tell me. I know Katina Man will agree with me. This stuff is man, nothing more rigged than losing a UFC fight with 13 seconds left in the second round, and that's all you really needed to go. But yeah, nice pop. Look for that pullback. Volume supporting it, right? So that's one thing that we want to wait for. Volume's there. Wait for the pullback. If it's going to continue, then you want to get in on that. You don't want to chase it all the way up here at these highs. Considering if the pullback volume is relatively light, then that's going to be your green light to go. So yeah. Downtrend snaps here, guys. Let's go see if we can continue. We're still slightly out of the money on this one. I would love if it recovered. If it didn't, then so what? So be it, right? We're not going to get too worried about that one. There, bang, another little pop to the top side. Come on, take it out. Take it out. Once we clear this, so you can see that we have the opening drive here, support level. And throughout the pre-market, we have that key support level. If we can punch through that, we get buyers on the back side of it. I think VWAP's going to be that next target there, Shreve.
Get it, my man, Eddie. I haven't seen you in a bit. Eddie R. Shout out to Eddie R, bro. Buvin, you don't think I'm looking at NVNI, Buvin? Are you kidding, Buvin? Come on, Buvin. We're printing on it, Buvin. No, we just took out highs there on NVNI. It is a $1.43 high. We're seeing 143 right now. NVNI is a good look, guys. It's up 60%. Good stair step up kind of look with the 10 EMA, again, being really the operative part or the operative level, I should say, on NVNI. It hasn't lost the 10 EMA on a decisive basis the entire morning. So let's see what we get on this one. And then Rich Tech. We're printing on Rich Tech as well. We just took out another, we didn't take out the high of the day, correction. We got back into that 545 high of day. And that's why my profit taker is a little bit above 545, looking for that continuation into the $0.50. So I'm waiting at 46s on Rich Tech Robotics. SLNH is, I don't know about this one, Joey. Let's have a look. This is a little frustrating. We get into 90, we don't print. Now we're below my entry, but we haven't printed my DCA, right? I'm waiting at 71s. In fact, it got to 71s, didn't cross, didn't give me the fill, and here it is, a little bit between my entry and my DCA. So decisions to be made here for SLNH. Should I just add into this random 70s area for a continuation, or should I insist that my 71 penny area come to print? I think I'm just going to cancel that level. I'm just going to get in here, and then come what may. So we're going to take off the 71 buy area, and we're going to get in smaller size because I'm getting a little bit higher over here. So we'll take a little bit less shares than we typically would have because we're adding a little bit of a higher position. And that's it. Let's go back to Rich Tech because I see Rich Tech just made another high a day. Yes, and there it is. Go, Rich Tech, go. So we're on our way, it looks like, to that $0.50. How many shares do we have on Rich Tech? So we're going to go ahead and wait here north of the $0.50 at 51s. Let's see if we can get that continuation on Rich Boy selling narcotics. Sorry. NVIDIA is rocketing, guys. So yeah, you guys are absolutely justified to talk about NVIDIA. Keep your eye on it. I probably won't be trading it at all, but we'll absolutely cover it for you, so keep your eye on that. We're going to pause for a second. Let's go back to Adara, who has news at the big desk.
I just want to let you guys know here with regards to Stephen Myron, his prepared remarks have already been released. Again, they have to do a little bit with tariffs. Now, again, they've been actually posted on the Fed's website. He has not started speaking yet, but we already have the speech. He apparently also, though, will, after delivering his prepared remarks, he'll be participating in a fireside chat. So I'll keep an eye on that. Once that chat begins, I'll let you know. But again, even though Stephen Myron has not even begun speaking yet, his remarks have already circulated here online. Back to you.
I mean, yeah, beautiful stuff right here. Hi, this guy loving the phone. Did you put the glass? Did you try the glass app yet? Did you do the glass effect on? Oh, did you have it? Oh, the other one. Okay.
So the things that I still have to do, Joey. So The phone, from what I'm seeing online, is
Yeah.
indestructible.
Yeah.
However, it scratches.
Okay.
And so it doesn't crack, but it scratches. So what I'm going to do is
I'll take that all day. I'll take a scratch over
likewise.
a crack.
So I'm going to put the clear coating on it. And then, so that's what I need to do. I need to put the clear coating, then throw the case on it, and I also want to put the screen protector. That's it. That's all I need to get for the phone, and I think that I'm golden. And the glass covers for the cameras as well.
Do that.
Yeah, because my other one broke and I had to replace it. Yeah,
when the cameras break on that, it's
horrible, bro.
Yeah, it's
horrible.
so annoying.
It ended up being blurry.
It's like, dude, it's like, you know, everybody has that one friend on social media that has a Samsung phone and it looks like they never wipe the back of their camera and it's just consistently stuck with grease. It's so annoying. People like that drive me nuts. It's like, clean the camera. But anyways, $5. Chat. I made a mistake and shorted gold futures. I'm currently down $81,000. You guys see any pullback to $3,600? I'm so scared right now. I honestly don't even know what to say. GLD, do you really want to be shorting gold considering, right? Like, I don't know. I apologize deeply for that. I'm sitting on some ugly contracts right now myself, but nothing close to $81,000. You can see this consolidation. Actually, can we pull up the futures on that? What is the gold futures on that?
GC.
Is it GC? Okay,
GC,
let's pull that up.
Choose the continuous contract.
Yeah.
So go...
the forecast and event, or no?
No, just go futures.
Yeah,
futures. And then choose last continuous contract.
This one here?
No, that one, yeah.
Yeah, okay, bang.
There you go.
Okay, so you're looking for a move back down to 3,600. See, the thing is, though, I was thinking, hey, maybe you'll get a little bit of a retracement in gold up here, but it's like, no, consolidation pop. And then if you zoom out even more, oops, hopefully this works. Please be good to me. Yes. All right. Do you really want to be shorting this? Like, I mean, it's continuous to the top side. I honestly don't know what to say to you. Any thoughts on that, Sharif?
About gold?
Gold going back down to 3,600.
I mean,
I personally don't. I wouldn't do that.
I think that a lot of the people, instead of buying Bitcoin, they're still buying gold. You're talking about central banks. The boomers.
Absolutely.
The boomers don't want to buy Bitcoin, and the boomers are the ones with the money. So from retail side, I still think it's gold. Yeah. And quite frankly, Joey, like, there's still a lot of the world that doesn't give you know what about Bitcoin, but they need an inflation hedge, right? And especially with fiat. Right? So I wouldn't be looking to short gold until you see a technical breakdown on the chart. If you're looking at that, that's a bull flag breakout. Umpteen amounts of bull flag breakouts. I wouldn't be looking to stand in front of that, Joey. That's just me personally.
No, I know. Honestly, apologies. I wish you the best.
I don't mean to make fun of anybody.
No, we're not. We're not at all. Like, this is a real life situation, considering if you're actually down $81,000, that's some people's yearly salary. But again, if you're putting up that much, I'm gonna fall into the party of that. Hey, you can afford to put up that much, and hopefully that's the case. Unless you YOLO short gold, that is not a good idea. I think this breakout does continue, and I don't know if you get. I mean, 3,600 is not too far away. It's nothing substantial, right? It's not too far.
What's the thing about the 3,600? Just the whole dollar level?
Well, I think that's what they were looking for.
I see.
Right? So it says, I made a mistake, shorted gold futures. I'm currently down $81,000. Do you guys see a pullback to $3,600? I'm so scared right now. I'm like, sorry, Em. Like, our deepest apologies, truly. But again, you have to learn from these mistakes and then make sure you don't repeat them. Just remember how you feel right now. And if you do come out of this unscathed, don't be greedy, get out break even, get out half break even, or whatever it may be, and then just plan, reset, step away for a couple days, and just come up with better, thorough game plans, and make sure you have those stop losses in place.
Shout out to M. Mason, man. I love hearing that you printed on NVNI. I love hearing it. Shout out to, I don't know what your first name is. I'm just going to call you M. Mason. But it doesn't matter because you're printing on one of the ones that I'm looking at as well. Assassino, we just took it out here. Pardon me. At 140.
I'm surrounded by it. I got Ram, I got you, Katina. I'm so it's inevitable.
Yeah, I know. Ram. Oh my goodness. 148 day high. 149, excuse me, is the day high right now on the NVNI. It's breaking out into that $0.50, which is why I went the beak there. That was my thinking about NVNI. But I also want to remind you that we have a psycho stock. It's called ARBB, and it was just halted to the downside for the first time and now it looks like it's losing the bid in a freaking hurry. I was going to use an expression that I probably would have regretted using later, so I will refrain from using it at the moment. But here we go, Joey. We're right at the 10 EMA on the 5. Price action right now is right at the 10 EMA, right around that 11.5. So here we go. Could we rocket back up? And the thing about this one is, once it rockets back up, it's not going to give you any warning. You're just going to find it at 12.5, like in a quarter second. And here comes 12, 11.94, seller into that level. Here we go with 94s again. That is the level, 93, 94. I saw it again. There's a seller at 94. Let's see if we can shake them. If you want to be able to identify these very local areas of support and resistance, and you don't have an ADERA level eidetic memory to remember exactly where the areas of support and resistance are in the level 2, my suggestion to you would be use a very short-term time frame chart. I'm talking about a 5-second, a 10-second chart, and try to look to see where you're finding support and resistance areas, at least locally, on a shorter time frame. That's what I do, and it sometimes helps. Sometimes you're just looking for what you want to look for, and it doesn't help at all. So here's what I'm looking at right now. I'm continuing to watch this one reject 94s. I'd like to see that 94 seller get shaken, and then maybe we'll take a long on this. Now I'm going to take really small share size on ARBB because I got shut down on Friday, and then we just took them out. That 94 seller is done. Now it's a 12 seller right now on ARBB. So I was saying I got shut down on Friday because I was trying to take a big trade on BREA. I was taking big swings before we even got onto the show. And yeah, I got in a lot of trouble doing it. So here we go. We're taking it out, Joey. 12.25. There's a 12.25 seller. Let's see. The halt level is 12.5. So if we clear that 12.5, this could be a good breakout. So the halt level exactly, I want to tell you guys here. No, it was 12.5 on the dot. So keep your eye out on this one. ARBB, just a little bit less than 100% on the day. Popping into that 12.5, looking to do more. We're going to go to Darren in 1 second, but shout out to Glaze with a $20 super chat. And boom, all out of the trade. SPX, 0 DTE, 6680 calls. Hit, I got out early. Apple last week got in Apple at 250 calls. Hit, sold early got 255 calls early. They both hit. Tesla, only L on the day. Love y'all, man. Monday. We're spinning it again for you, bro. Where is it, man? There it is. No, Joey, we're going to spin it again, man.
We don't want that.
Shout out to my man,
We're going to hit this one. We're going to hit this one here, too, because it's a freaking storm.
Storm of prints.
It's a freaking storm out there.
Absolutely love it. Let's not keep Adara keep waiting any longer. Sorry to keep you waiting, Adara.
Yeah, no worries. We're just getting a lot of talk from Fed members about employment. Fed's Myron is not really discussing employment too much that I can hear, but we do have conversation from our other 2 Fed members speaking right now. That's right. We have 3 currently speaking. Fed's Barkin and Fed's Hammock are also speaking. Again, Fed's Myron's comments were already publicized. We already know what he's going to say, at least for his prepared portion. But Fed's Hammock and Fed's Barkin are both speaking a lot about employment. Fed's Hammock saying that basically the reason for the rate cut was that we're seeing, I guess they're seeing struggles on both ends of their mandate, right? She said they're still seeing some inflation, but she's also saying that employment is still going to be a concern as well. She said she is concerned about the level and persistence of inflation, but that, again, employment was showing some weakness, and that we also here apparently have some softness with regards to the non-farm payroll prints. Then on the other side of things with Fed's Barkin, he said that there could be 0 job growth this year at the end of the day. Workforce growth this year will be nearly 0, says Fed's Barkin. So both Fed's Barkin and Fed's Hammock definitely concerned about employment here. Back to you.
I'll show you after.
Yeah, you can't.
Bro, we're doing it live. We're doing it live. Yeah, but the point is, this time, now we're doing it live with the real numbers. With the real numbers. That was all you right there. You're the one that was like showing me the bigger picture.
Yeah.
You can't be a goofy. You know what I mean? You can't be a goofy, Joey.
Yeah, you don't want to be that.
And you certainly are not a goofy if you're in Beta Pro by Global X Canada. Exciting news for Canadian sophisticated traders. Beta Pro by Global X Canada has just launched 6 new triple leveraged ETFs offering 3 times bull and 3 times bear exposure to the S&P TSX 60 as well as semiconductors and U.S. Treasuries. You want even better? Well, they're offering a special fee rebate, dropping management fees just to 65 basis points until December 31st, 2025. These ETFs also employ currency hedging to seek to neutralize the US dollar exposure, providing performance that may more accurately reflect the underlying US equity indices. If you're a tactical, sophisticated trader looking to amplify your performance, then check out betapro.ca/3x daily to learn more. Joey, options.
Yes, sir. Yeah, Chris, brother, trust me, I get the feeling. But hey, if you're looking for a sector and an area to pull back, I got one for you. Matter of fact, it's down 16% off of the highs. And it's also, and then the other big name is also down roughly around 10% off of the highs. Can you guess what space I'm talking about? It's the crypto space. Yeah, there we go. So bang, if you're looking for pullbacks, my friend, there it is. And your boy is heavily involved with that one. So, I mean, obviously being sarcastic there, you got to be somewhat of a good sport about it. No, actually, I actually did lose a little bit of sleep. I'm not going to say that I didn't, but hey, that's what it is. Look at this name. Oh my days, this is crazy. This is crazy. Yeah, and I'm talking like pullback. Yeah, see you later. You're not getting that right now. You had that micro pullback. If you were lucky, consolidation, and then just continues to climb higher. So NVDA becoming the king of the day.
I wonder if Altman's tweeting about this right now on
How do you think Elon
X
feels about it right now?
Oh, Elon's gonna hate Jensen. He's gonna fight Jensen.
He's fuming. So he's already thinking about what he can post on X next about Jensen and Sam. And it's probably not going to be very kind words, but
no, Altman didn't tweet. I figured he'd probably tweet.
Well, I mean, wait till if Elon has something to say about this.
Oh, Elon, I'm waiting for that.
But how bad of a look for Intel is it that it's like, okay, yeah, Jensen putting $4 billion into Intel, then a couple of days later, Jensen $100 billion into OpenAI. It's like, yo, you're literally tripping over pennies on that one, my friend.
That's intense.
There it goes. Yeah, this is really choppy. We're all out of this one there, guys. We took a little scalp bone pop, and then now you're getting that grind back towards VWAP. All right, CoreWeave, Adam, I'll take a look at CoreWeave for you one more time because I know you're heavily involved in this. And there it goes. Look, now this thing's correlated with NVDA, Sharif. Look at it. Look at CoreWeave. Dirty bug. You know what I mean? Sympathy play right there. Yeah, exactly. Sympathy play right there. Looking good. Overall market going absolutely bananas right now.
Crazy. The chips are super strong.
Yeah.
Joey, the only two real made chips that are negative on the day are AVGO and Intel. AVGO down 1 1/4, Intel down half.
Yeah, I got
so barely anything. And then Impinj, PI, which probably most of you guys don't know. It's basically down 0.04%. But wow, the chips are freaking strong right now. Yeah, man, and we saw aggressive chip selling on Friday as well. I don't know if remembers that, but I mean, so we'll continue to watch that. I don't know, man. I have my reservations just about this.
Like Sharif, we're literally 1.5% off of the previous.
We're at the high.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
we're pretty much at that previous all-time high. As quick as you like, as the individual to the right of me would like to say. And just like that, you get that nice bounce in NVDA. Now, what else? Oh my days! Why didn't we think about this a couple minutes earlier? It's that simple. Like we got to.
Joey options wants to look at options.
Exactly. Let's see what we got going on here. Look at this pickup. There's no chance. Look at this.
104,000.
That's contracts already traded with the increase. We looked at this a couple minutes ago.
What was it at?
This is insane. It was nothing. It was at like 50,000, 40,000. So they're just running the contracts up on this name, and a lot of that you're going to see reflected in the volume. So 71,500 now open. 104,000 completely closed. That's sharedry right there, my friend.
What? I like that. New words being made up all the time.
Exactly.
No questions asked. All right, guys, look. Most of my trading has been good today. There is one silver lining to that, or not silver lining, one exception to that statement. SLNH, we're 9 pennies out of the money, only having webbed the beak once. I've seen this story before, though, with SLNH. Take a look. Lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high. Sorry. And then, boom, to the high side. So I'm trying to, try to pack my patience with this one. Let me just make sure that I have the right out here because I don't want to be pushed out of this one if it's not warranted. Let me just cancel all these older trades that no longer require. Yeah, so SLNH, excuse me, I've got my order. Sorry, Assassino, 1 second. Yeah, I think it's sufficiently below here. So I'm going to hold on to my order, and I won't dollar cost average. So I'm going to pack my patience on SLNH. I'm looking for it to hold generally that 60 penny area. If it doesn't hold 60, I'll stop out. But I'm looking for a continuation of higher highs and higher lows. Currently, Joey, that area trough, 155.
Nice. All right, guys. Did you know that instead of risking your own money, you can now trade with someone else's capital? No more fear of losing. No more moving your stop loss too soon. And you actually get enough capital to make it worth your time. So you can aim for big profits, not just a couple $100 a month. This is the revolution called limited risk trading. And it's powered by Trade the Pool. This is how it works. Join Trade the Pool, hit the profit goal, and keep 70% of the profits. Visit tradethepool.com or scan the QR code now for 10% off. Yeah, Adam, I don't want to hear it. Going to the beach, chilling, made a bunch of money. No, good work there, brother. We'll hit the money storm for you. Happy that you had a solid day, especially laying in bed. I'm glad that that worked for you. If only every day would be like that, then we could just be chilling on the beach every day. Just wake up, go over to the cabana, put a trade on, 2K, bang. We're there for a little bit longer, but there you go, Adam. Good work. Okay, nice
Mike
little pop there. Pardon me?
Mike Jones.
Oh,
Adam
Mike
Jones, right?
It's Adam Jones, not Adam Jones.
No, that's what I was
No,
thinking.
yeah, it's a different Adam. Yeah, it's not
That's what I
ADL.
was
It's
saying,
not our guy ADL there. Adam James, yeah. He's over. He lives over there in the West Coast, even though he's not currently there right now. Yeah, Tycoon. That's what they used to call me. You didn't know? Joey Cabanas is what they used to call me. They didn't, but anyway, people only started calling me Joey since here. So yeah, I was never called Joey ever. Yeah.
How's that possible?
Yeah, I don't know. It just wasn't me. I told you my name was J Dubs in high school. Is what they would call me. You lived the dream in Mexico. Remember trading some ticket? That was in Jamaica. That was it. That was in Jamaica. Yeah. That was, and then we traded Alibaba earnings. Is what we did. Remember when I sent you that thing? Yeah, so that was a great time. But I didn't make 2K though on that front. What do you got, Sharif? I see you punch a key.
No.
Oh, okay, you're good. All right, you're getting involved. Okay, no problem. So there it is. We're all out of that one. Starting to get another little pop. The space is just completely choppy. AMD is starting to take a little bit of a nosedive there. And our good friend that we thought we were going to get a strong bounce in, AVGO, Broadcom, is not doing what we were anticipating. So I'm glad that we didn't open up a swing on that one. And plus, my primary focus is on what I got going on with my bloody crypto trades. There we go.
Guys, ARBB's back in focus here. We just got a couple of trades on it, but I'm not trusting this one quite yet. $13 rejection for now. Now, it did take out that 12.5. So that is kind of what I'm looking at here, because that was the level we were talking about. That was the halt level on the way down, and basically been kept down below 12.5 since 12.05. It's 12.27. Now we're talking about $13 being the area of resistance. So let's keep an eye out here. 13.89 high on ARBB. This one, I think if it takes out the day's high, this could get really, really crazy. Just based on how it's traded before. It's going to have to obviously, we're going to need the small cap traders, the algos obviously to pile in. Without it, just because it has a good looking chart pattern doesn't mean that it's going to be participated in. So we'll have to wait and see what we do in and around $13. I'm keeping my eye out on this one. I took a quick scalp, but again, I didn't trust it. So we took a quick, in and out. Here comes 13 right here, 12.97. Let's just watch. We need to see what kind of resistance level that just got decimated at 13 on ARBB, but we're zigging and zagging a little bit above, a little bit below Assassino as we turn back in to that $0.75 of a dollar, 4/5 of a dollar. Right back into 13 we go. The strength on this one is quite palatable, man, but we're just going to need to take out some area levels again, though. Like, if you don't like spready stocks in the small cap gapper world, this one might not be down your wheelhouse because it's quite spready. I think I've seen it as wide as 25 pennies at times. Adair.
Yeah, we have comments. So comments finished here from Feds Myron right now. He's actually taking questions from reporters after his speech, specifically with regards to why he wants to move rates so quickly. People are saying, wouldn't that be kind of panicky that he is suggesting that they could get 150 basis points worth of cuts over 3 meetings? He said he does expect things to get a lot better at the start of this year compared to how, or sorry, at the start of 2026 compared to how they were at the start of 2025. So he thinks it's not panicky. It'll just be reflected eventually in the data. He also thinks that the Fed's current rate policy is about 2 points or 2 percentage points too restrictive, which is far too restrictive in his view. Back to you.
All right. Yeah, so there you go, guys. We're starting to we're just seeing complete rotation. Everybody was all giddy about Apple this morning. Now it's starting to come back in towards the volume-weighted average price. And then we have NVDA continuing to climb higher. So maybe we're starting to see some rotation in some of the technology names. So yeah, man, that's some quality. TQQ, get him, get him.
And like the thing is, as Sasino, he sees me doing that, now he knows.
He knows.
He puts it right on the 2-shot.
Oh, he knows.
I love this guy, bro. He's next level stuff over there.
Yay, let's go. But yeah, I love that stuff, man. Maybe a bit too much, but that's okay. TQ's continuing to grind higher. Not too bad of a look there. And I just mentioned starting to see a little bit of a rotation. Josh J, you said you wanted to start grabbing some Bitcoin. For me, it's just like don't go all in at once. Just slowly start to grab some. And if it breaks this lows, then just get out completely. Or actually, no, buy a little bit more, to be honest with you. So I told you break it up into quarters or fifths there. And then it's like, okay, you buy a little bit more, sells a little bit, you buy a little bit more, sells a little bit more, you buy a little bit, and then eventually you just get into the full size in what you are looking to do there. But again, Shreve, it's really, I'm really like tempted to short this market, but that's insane. That's like standing in front of a freight train right now, and I am not doing that. So
that's okay.
Yeah.
Shout out to Catan, man. Yeah, we're having a good time. All right, maybe we can throw up a poll, Joey.
Let's throw it up.
By the end of today's official trading day, I mean 4 o'clock, obviously not after market, does NVIDIA breach, not close, but breach all-time highs? I
think we're almost there. So.
We're almost there. I was just looking at it right now. So what I'm seeing, and correct me if I'm wrong, Chad, I see on the 31st of July, we made an intraday high of 185.22. I don't see a print higher than that. I see maybe the second one, August 28th, we made a high of 184.47. So I'm going to base it on 185.22. Do we breach Assassino or Chilean Nightmare, whoever has an opportunity to do the poll, do we breach $185.22 on NVIDIA? I should tell you that the current day high is $182.87, and that could probably change within the next few seconds because I believe we are trading at day's high. So let's get that poll up there. Let's see what people are saying with respect.
So you said by the end of the intraday session?
So just by 4 o'clock, Joey.
4 o'clock?
By that last print that comes in.
You don't want to throw Blue O in there?
No.
Okay.
No. Well, I mean, we could. I mean, we could. All-time highs, Assassino. Does it take out? Yeah, just put in all-time highs. You don't have to put in 185.22. Just put in all-time highs. Does NVIDIA make all-time highs? We're not talking about the close. We're just talking about an intraday print above that 185.22. Don't vote yet, guys, because we're going to put in a poll, and then so your vote won't officially count until we get that poll up there. So, yeah, we'll throw that up there, and then we'll see what everybody has to say. To me, though, this is one angry looking bullish candle right now on the daily. Let's bring in the chart on NVDA. So as I mentioned, 183.15. So that's already changed. It was 182 something, Joey. So we've already taken out that day high. It is a 183.15 day high. But this is what we're looking at, ladies and gentlemen, when we're talking about this candle. This is an awfully bullish candle right here, especially if we close out at day's high. And this is the candle I'm talking about that made all-time highs. It was on the 31st of July, and we ended up closing red on NVIDIA that day. In fact, we ended up dropping and closing below 180 at 176 and change. But we did open up at least in the morning at 182 and change, and by the time I think the pre-market was around, we were at all-time highs.
I have 184.60.
You have 184.60.
Yeah,
so then that probably doesn't include pre-market. If I remove pre-market, which we can do right here, let's find out. So we're going to take off pre-market SSino over here. We're going to see exactly what the situation is. So I said it was the 22nd of July, right, Joey?
Yeah, you got that. I think the August
31st of July, excuse me.
The August date might be a bit higher.
That's the one right there. So this is the 31st, and that's showing me 183.30.
What's the August one say?
So this one here, this one's got 184.47.
That's
so that's an actual regular trading hour. So it looks like that the July 31st print was a pre-market high.
Pre-market
Yeah. So technically, if you were to move pre-market and aftermarket price action, August 28th had the highest regular trading hours price spike. Joey, we're about to take out one. It's 183.40.
It's going.
Everybody and their mother's
we don't even have
cousin
the poll up.
is punching into
We don't
this.
even have the poll up.
Yeah, Sasino's getting to it, brother.
We should modify it. We should modify it.
There it is. I'm going to... Yes, can NVIDIA make a new all-time high before the close? I'm clicking yes. I'm biased. I think it does close above that level, Joseph. Quite frankly. And... you know, this is one of those ones where you never have enough, and then when you can get more, you don't want to buy more. I'm just speaking for myself here.
Trust me, I know. I'm really familiar with that one there. Exactly.
Let's get those votes in, guys.
Get those votes in for sure. I'm going to put this as a stretch. I wouldn't be surprised if we get there before the end of the hour. At this pace.
Right?
Like
100%.
Before the end of the hour,
Look at this thing, bro.
I'm a betting man. Actually, I got to stop with that, to be honest. Even though I'm itching to put on a UFC bet, man. I need to redeem myself for that
What
one.
Happened? What happened?
I told you, remember how I took a bad beat when the guy, he got KO'd with 13 seconds left? Yeah, so I need to get that back, man. Yeah, and we got some big-time fights coming up in the near future as well, too. So,
Daryl, what's going on over there?
Bev's Myron is getting like a little aggressive in this talk here, and I will say I want to give the moderator some credit. He's talking here at the Economic Club of New York. She started with warm-up questions like, what was it like getting the call to find out you're in the position? And then she said to him, well, previously you've made it very clear that you don't think people should go from political roles to roles at the Fed. But you're kind of doing that, so can you talk about this for a second? And then he got pretty aggressive. He's like, if anyone has an issue with the number, I want you to tell me what the issue is with the number. Like, he answered this question for about 5 minutes, and in the end,
what number?
He didn't give us an answer. Pardon?
What number?
Like his numbers that he sees for the interest rates. And she also raised a good point of, like, if you see the rate as low as it is by the end of next year, wouldn't that actually mean that we should get rate hikes at that point? And then he immediately kind of walked it back and was like, well, we wouldn't get rate hikes because it'll all happen over a different period of time. So I do want to give the moderator credit. She's asking, I think, a really good mix of balance of questions. He's coming off a little bit intense.
Very interesting. Thank you, Adara. Keep us updated on that. Stephen Myron, obviously the new Fed governor appointed by Donald Trump, and the only voting member at the last FOMC meeting who voted for 50 bips. Joey, despite the fact that Bowman and Waller, both Trump appointees, neither of which voted for 50, just Stephen Myers.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely. Hangry, I agree with you on that front.
Hangry wife?
Yeah, hangry wife.
Get it, hangry wife.
Yeah, hangry, I agree with you on that one. Different this time around. Yeah, see, I'm going to take that one over. There's no questioning that unless somebody can get knocked out relatively quick. There goes the TQs continuing to climb higher. Look at the SPY as well, too. What's the Dow up to considering NVDA's in it? DIA, boom. Okay, not too much of a pop there, so nothing crazy in the Dow, so yeah, we'll take a look at some other names. I'm out of everything right now, so you can see on my positions that I'm relatively flat. Looking for the next potential trade. Do I want to stand in front of NVDA? Absolutely not. So I think it's just best to remove that from the playbook and look for more potential bounces. One thing to note is that if we get involved with Ethereum once again, just understand that we may be more of a grind. It's not maybe, we are definitely more of a grind considering you have this massive gap down. What I was thinking from the pre-market price action is that you would get at least a 50% gap fill, but this is just showing that the underlying assets are really, really weak. Every pop is getting sold aggressively in Bitcoin and in Ethereum there, Sharif.
All right, guys. I think I'm going to flatten out Rich Tech. It's coming into the 20. It's finding support, at least momentarily, here at the 20. I'm long... I'm long at 28. We've taken out, the best print was 46s. We had 51s that went unprinted. So I think I'm just gonna put it below area low. So I'm gonna move up my stop to 23s. Let me just make sure that that's not where I already have my stop on Rich Tech. So that's not. So I'm gonna cancel that stop. We're gonna go 523 and then we'll just do that for my friend Rich Tech. So there it is. We'll just let that one go. So if it does lose the 220 moving average on the 5, that'll be the end of the trade on that one. I'm not seeing much in the way of, new aggressive names showing up. So if there are any small cap gappers that are making their way onto the scene that I don't know too much about, please tag myself or Joseph. For the moment, I'm just going to continue to trade the ones I've been involved in. I'm talking about SLNH and Rich Tech Robotics. SLNH is, well, I've given this one my hard stop below 55s. If it loses that level, we'll give back, but I just don't want to keep DCAing into this. Ebb and flow portfolio, I just got out of Rich Tech at 26. Is good for you, brother. It's showing me 27, 28 right now. I'm going to give it to local area low at 23s. That's the triple bottom that I see from 1145 to 1155. So I'll give it to that level there. If the same buyers step up there, well then fantastic. If they don't, we'll give back about 5 pennies because we're long at 28. NVNI though, it does seem like I should be working into this one because it's continuing to put in higher highs and higher lows, finding some support now at the 10 EMA. I'm going to punch back into this, and if it loses 40, I'm going to risk 3 pennies here, Joe. So we're going to go long here on NVNI, and then we're also going to send you to a dare.
Keep an eye here on KVUE. I just have the Nasdaq up here, but KVUE on watch. We know after the bell today, we are expecting the Trump administration to make a link between the use of Tylenol or paracetamol while pregnant, and then I guess link that to autism. Now we actually have commentary coming here from the UK's regulatory body called the Medicines and Healthcare Products Regulatory Agency. They're saying that taking paracetamol during pregnancy remains safe, and there's no evidence that it causes autism in children. Back to you.
They say paracetamol or acetaminophen?
They did. It's weird. They do say paracetamol. I'm guessing they're referring potentially to acetaminophen as well. But yeah, weird statement. Either way, Kenview not reacting too much. I thought that was odd as well that they said paracetamol. But yeah,
thank you. Ram, did you hear that? Paracetamol is okay to take. I can't see her face. Making a face.
Oh, why you say that? Why you say it's okay?
Oh, because she thinks it's from like Saudi, well, she thinks we sell it here, but they don't have it in Canada.
Oh.
North America.
Oh, I thought you were saying something.
It was an inside joke. I thought she would understand. Poor soul.
It's all right.
All
right. It was a tough one.
It's the same drug, says Scott H. I don't think it is, brother. They're both analgesics, but one is not allowed in North America. But I'm pretty sure they're very similar, but I'm pretty sure that we have our version of it here. Paracetamol sold all over the world, right? Anything you got, Joey?
Yeah, buddy, Heinen Cement. Hell no, I ain't taking that stuff ever again, man. Okay. There's zero chance you'll ever see me take that. I like what Apple's doing right now. Maybe we get involved, small size right there. Hammer candle. One thing to know, Gorev, we always, oh no, there it goes. All right, we got to chase this a little bit. We'll go super small just to get involved in some stuff. Get our feet dirty here.
There's no difference between acetaminophen and paracetamol.
All right.
Can you believe that? I didn't know that. Why the hell would they ban one and not the other? There is no difference between acetaminophen and paracetamol. They are two generic names for a chemical substance known as para-acetaminophen. Oh my God!
There you go.
And another piece of the puzzle falls into place. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, that's all right, man. Now we'll hit the now you know.
Yeah, I don't have it.
I don't hit that assassino. There
we go. Get it.
Hey, all right, let's get involved in something. Actually, no, we're gonna wait for this pullback, but I do like this hammer candle above the volume weighted average price. Wait for things to cool down. You get another pullback. Any more indecision, then we're gonna look to participate. It can go without me, and I won't feel FOMO. That's not true. I probably will. But in that instance, patience. There goes the goddamn garbage. See, this is what I'm really worried about. I'm sorry about talking about it throughout the whole session. Let's go over to the daily. Is that, okay, it took this thing how many years to put in a new all-time high. I mean, you got 24, maybe not that long, but it's just the consolidation. That's why, like, I'm just thinking. So yeah, this is the previous all-time high. So that was made in. So it took 4 years for this thing to make an all-time high. That's what I'm worried about it doing again. It's just falling into this like deep, I'm not gonna call it a depression, but a long time to get back to where it was. And that's just what's been running through my mind. Bitcoin, I'm not so worried about because it's just been blowing tops out. I figure that this is gonna be the consistent narrative of what this name does. You get a nice move up, consolidation phase for a couple of months, another big time, like 30, 40% move higher. You pull back 20, 30% of that, and then you move another 30, 40%. So that's what I'm aiming at there. I love what Ethereum's up to, but you have to listen to what the technicals are telling us. Maybe I'm overthinking and overanalyzing it, but I think I would rather do that, come out with multiple scenarios, than be underprepared for it, Shree.
Sounds good, man.
Yeah.
I'm back into NVNI, looking for continuation of higher highs and higher lows. We got a 149 high a day. I'm back in here at 43s, looking at wetting the beak at 45s. It's actually at 45 right now, just not crossing. So that's what I'm keeping my eye on there. We'll see if this one wants to continue into that $1.50 area. I'd be pleased as punch if it did. And I'm also keeping my eye on Rich Tech Robotics. I did move my stop on this one into the low at 523. I'm not going to take anything out here until it retests, if it retests high up day, which is currently at 547. We're going to pause for a second, send you back to Adair for a news update.
Just be aware here, really interesting comments coming once again from Feds Myron. So Feds Myron is being asked here by the moderator at this event during their fireside chat, you know, what will happen here if you continue to, I guess, disagree with the overall Fed's opinion? Will you continue to dissent? And he said, yeah, I have no issue continuing to dissent. I don't want to give this illusion that I agree with everybody if I don't agree with everybody. And yeah, like, I guess if he's made it very clear that he wants to be not only politically independent, but also intellectually independent, which means he will poke a little bit, he'll question people's opinions, and he'll, I guess, continue to vote with and advocate for his own view. Now, he also said as well that should he continue to agree that the Fed needs 50 basis points, he will vote for another 50 basis point rate cut at the next meeting. Although, again, if data changes, maybe he won't vote that way. But long story short, Feds Myron has zero problems being a dissenting vote. Again, his term does end in January, so it's a shorter term, and he has no problem, I guess, continuing to dissent. And he will advocate for his viewpoint. He's just made that very clear here. Back to you.
Hey, Katina, man. I have no idea, brother. I haven't. Have you been on the other side since we demolished the stage? I wanna weasel on over and take a look, brother.
Go live.
All right, Joey, just give me a second over here because we got to do it live. All right, let him know. BTCC, baby. 14 years, 0 hacks, 0 excuses. BTCC.com delivers when others do not. Trade Bitcoin up to 500x, even Tesla, gold, and Forex. And with smart copy trading, guys, you don't just watch the pros, you trade like them. It's regulated in the United States, Canada, and Europe, and trusted by 6.8 million traders worldwide. This is a Trader TV Live exclusive. If you're interested, scan that QR code or click the link in the description box for a 15% deposit bonus. BTCC.com, where pros trade, and now so can you. Shout out to the good folks at BTCC.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, Joey, here's the deal.
Tell me.
We got back into NVNI, and we took a couple of prints to the high side there with the local area high being 148. We are still below that area high of 149, and we also haven't gotten to that $0.50 area. So I'm keeping my eye on that. I'm interested in a $0.50 continuation. We got in on a retracement into the 10 EMA, and we will get out if it loses this area trough over here. I'm talking about that 138 level. So we'll risk about 5 pennies on their last remaining amount, but it's really going to come down to SLNH. This is the trade that's outstanding for me. I'm keeping my eye on the higher lows, and that's what I'm basing my additions on here. Let's see if it price spikes up. I've got my orders layered. It's price spiked up multiple times, namely at 10:30 and then again at 11:30. So we didn't get one at 12:30, sadly. So no guessing that one's coming at 12:30. But what I've seen here is aggressive selling of lower highs, a holding of a technical level, namely a higher low, and then a price spike back up. So whether or not we get it this time and whether or not I participate, that's still outstanding, Joey. But I'm trying to set things up so that they're ready to go if that ends up manifesting. So I'm going to send it to you. Just drop back there super quick, and then we're going to start the news when we get back because it's almost 10-2.
Yeah. Sorry, repeat the gameplay. You're going back there.
Yeah.
I'm staying here.
Yeah.
And then it's the news. Bang.
I think so. I think we should be good there.
Right. We got it figured out, man. It's
Bang.
not rocket appliances, all right? It's obviously rocket science. Shout out to the Trailer Park Boys and Rickyisms. Yeah, all right. You know what, Zero Gravity? But I'm forever bullish though. That's the thing. I'm just forever bullish. I just believe the market's slightly overextended. I try to go to what was I about to say? Yeah, I'm just going off the signals at the end of the day, man. I'm not going to try to complicate this thing, man. I'm a simple creature, truly. I look for pattern recognition, obviously, and I just try to execute on the exact same things. I just like the beep whipping, the A whipping. I'm taking on
the hoodie.
Yeah, I appreciate that. You see that? You see that?
What is it?
Jordan.
So this is IEX.
What is that?
Gateway.
Gateway?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, how come you get all the fancy sweaters? How come? When are you gonna be doing? When are we gonna do sweaters again? You're the only one who has that vintage Trader TV sweater. Maybe we could do a round of those.
Sure, we don't sell them.
Well, we can get them made, man. It's not like, you know what I mean? And then we give those out, just water under the fridge, my man. Exactly. Yeah, and see if we can look into that. I'm sure we could. Yeah, exactly. We'll see if we can find something. This is either it's gonna work or it's just gonna blow up the top, right? Again, I'm so small here. I'm not risking too much. We're gonna hold on to our green day. No, regardless if this stops me out, this would be just a little bit of a paper cut, but I wanted to take a stab at it, just considering how extended we are. But you're standing in front of a moving freight train. Okay, AQUBT, let's go. Let's take out APLD. Let's take a look at what. Oh my days! Yeah, there it goes, man. What a beautiful, beautiful chart, even from a daily standpoint too, right? Bang! Look at that, 2307. And I mean, if you go off of these April lows, never mind all those other names, you got 564%, even more. I'm not even that accurate on this one, right? So just keep that in mind. APLD, and we've been trading Applied Digital since we were in this. Look at this! Oh, sometimes they work so gorgeously. But yeah, it is what it is. So that's why we're taking a shot here on the short, but the market's starting to grind higher. There goes NVDA. You're buying more Apple up here? I like it. Yeah, I like it, man. I like it. It's
I like it.
Oh,
honestly,
intraday.
Yeah.
Oh, you're buying more intraday. Okay, I thought you were talking in the LT there.
No,
I think it's still
that's intense.
Why? I think it's still bucket's too full.
Baby.
Yeah. How many names you in, Katina, man? He's in a lot. But there it is. You're still a couple percentage points. At the high of today, you were only 1% off of those previous all-time highs. 1%.
But if we close here, will this not be the highest close, or was there a higher close than this? Oh, 258. We closed at 258.
We closed
Good
up
call,
there, man.
Joey.
We closed all the way up
I was telling
there.
Katina Man wrong information.
No, so yeah, there's that one. And I mean, we were talking about the catch-up trade for some time, not Heinz or anything like that. But here it is. Even Amazon is still down about 6-7% off of that. So 6% exactly off of those all-time highs. I think it's still a good buy. And we were talking about Google as well too. Well, guess what?
What?
This thing's in another realm right now. Shreve is living in an alternate universe, up 22% off of that previous bit. And it's just like, boom, antitrust what? Pop.
Did you gauge that? Be honest now.
I did.
You have a $1 trillion antitrust cap?
Oh.
Because that's what it's moved up.
No, do you want to know how I was looking at it? So during all of this news, some of the other bigger mega names were moving higher, and then Google was subdued. Google and Apple were subdued, and they weren't trading as well. And then Adara mentioned this, and I was thinking the same thing. As soon as that was off the table, it's like the weight of the world was $1 trillion was lifted off its shoulder.
Do you
at the end
remember
of the day.
our discussions before this? We were always talking about Google. Why is Google kept down? It's too much of a generalist. Search is going to get disrupted.
And they're losing share here and there.
We kept making these alternate excuses. I'm just speaking for myself. I did not factor in the antitrust lawsuit in the right way, nor even close to the multiple that the market was
exactly. No,
right?
You're right on that behalf. Yeah. But there was trading in last summer, this is the last summer where it was being held up, and if you go and look at some of the other names, here I'm like, okay, this is holding it up. But by the time we get to here and here, it's like you almost forgot about it, right? It's like, okay, there's other things that are weighing it down. The like that they're losing market share via all of these LLMs and everything along those lines.
Whatever else.
So once that weight was lifted off its shoulder, boom. See you later.
See you later. AC Slater.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, guys, let's start the news. It's about 5 to 1, so we can get started on it right now. I just want to deal with some of these trades. I'm going to flatten out NVNI. To take this one out, we just got a couple of beak wetters there into 50. So that second ad was Dees. Rich Tech Robotics. We're a little bit above break even at 30s. We're going to flatten that out here as well. But it is this trade, sadly, SLNH, which is just not going my way. But I've got the stop in place. Let me just double check. It is the stop is kosher. And we're good to go on that so that we don't get in trouble with this bad boy when we're doing the news. So SLNH, I got the stop exactly where I want it. Let's let that one cook. And if it ends up dropping, giving back, then it gives back. But it's cost doing business. Let's start with the news over here. Joey Options, a lot to talk about today. Let's start with Meta securing a U.S. government contract for its Llama AI. I got to tell you, I don't think very much of Meta's AI. I think it's probably one of the worst ones right now. And I think it's one of the ones with the least amount of usage from the big ones anyway. But that's the bad news. The good news is the U.S. government likes it enough to make it one of the General Service Administration's LLM. So here's the deal. The U.S. federal agencies will gain access to Meta's Llama AI system after the General Service Administration approved it for use in government operations. Agencies can now experiment with Llama for free, with the GSA confirming it meets federal and legal standards. It aligns with Trump administration's push to integrate, these commercial AI tools into the government infrastructure. So what can Llama do for the government? The system is designed to improve contract reviews, tech issue resolutions, and overall efficiency across government agencies. So it kind of works with that DOGE push that we've been hearing a lot about since the new Trump 2.0. The GSA has also recently approved other AI offerings from competitors like AWS, Microsoft, Google, Anthropic, OpenAI. They've all gotten very similar approvals. So Meta not standing alone.
There it is, Sharif. It's there. It's 10 cents. I said within
all-time highs?
Yeah, we're going.
Are we actually?
Yeah, it's like
184.50. There it goes. Yeah, we're all-time highs.
I said within the hour.
Speaking of
yeah.
So these companies agreed, Joey, to sell or to offer steep discounts for their LLMs to meet the federal security compliance standards. It's probably not a bad idea to not make money off the government, but to get in good with the government, especially with anti-competitive issues possibly rearing their head.
I would love to make money off the government.
All right, I'm done. Any comment on Meta?
I mean, we like it. Of the LLMs, but it's starting to gain some ground. Zuck's got this super team for the super intelligence. I think that it's just going to be a matter of time until they're going to start coming out with some bigger and better things. You just have to be patient. I mentioned this before. It's like just just grabbing the best talent in whatever your favorite sports league is, and then putting those guys on the same team. It may or may not work, but just be patient and give them a little bit of time and see if it does work or not. But I think they will come out with some big things.
Yeah, good look for Meta today. I mean, where are they at? They're a little down. They're 0.86, but they're coming into that $800 area. Daryl, what do you think of this sort of acquisition of another government contract to be used in the General Service Administration's department?
I don't have too much to say with this with regards to Meta, but I do think it's an interesting look for Palantir. We know that Palantir struggled when OpenAI got that government deal. And I mean, I'm not saying like Palantir is the only company that is allowed to get government contracts, but I think that is seen as a lot of the appeal for Palantir. So as we see other companies, especially larger companies, get these government contracts with regards to AI, I'm not sure how good of a look that is for PLTR, at least from an optics perspective. Also, guys, we will have Caroline Levitt speaking in about 3 minutes. So I am going to be focusing on that. I will still be chiming in here, but Caroline Levitt on watch. I will be covering that for you guys. Back to you.
All right, let's go on to KenView. Under pressure as the Trump administration links Tylenol. Sorry, just going to have to give me a minute here. I don't know why this thing always makes me hear myself in my ear. Links Tylenol with autism during pregnancy. The Trump administration is preparing to announce that Tylenol use during pregnancy may be linked to autism, according to reports from the Washington Post, a very trustworthy news source. Federal health officials are expected to advise against Tylenol use in early pregnancy unless treating a fever. The administration may also highlight a different drug, a form of folate, as a potential treatment for a treatment option for autism. I haven't heard anything about that yet. The report suggests HHS Secretary Robert Kennedy will release a study tying acetaminophen, which is Tylenol's generic name, to autism. The announcement has triggered a market and medical concerns, especially given the lack of consensus from the scientific authorities. Shares of KenView, at least initially in the pre-market, fell sharply after the news did break. The company strongly denies the claim, citing over a decade of research reviewed by both medical professionals and regulators, showing what they call no credible evidence linking Tylenol to autism. KenView CEO Kirk Perry personally met with RFK earlier this month in an attempt to prevent Tylenol from being included in the autism report. So he had foreknowledge that this was going to get added. Joey, in any event, it got added anyway. We're going to pause for a second to tell you about this.
All right, guys. Each year, 3.8 million concussions are reported in the U.S., yet there is still no FDA-approved treatment. NISE-listed Origenex Ogen is changing that with its first-in-class intranasal drug designed for rapid brain access. With the concussion treatment market projected to reach $8.9 billion by 2027, Origenex is uniquely positioned to lead the way. Yeah, I mean, as for autism, I know that there's been a wave. You're linking it to, they're funding a lot of things that it's linked to, whether it be vaccines, Tylenol now, and I know, unfortunately, there was kind of a boom, Sharif, I don't know if you recall this, of cases of autism within newly born children, which is really unfortunate. But as from a technical standpoint, you can see you have this gap down, hammer candle there, but you also have this volume, so just be prepared and watch for it to turn around at some given point. This is obviously a negative catalyst, but you're through some key support levels and you're starting to show some indecision as well too.
All right, let's go on to the next topic over here. Crypto market faces over $1 billion in liquidation. So let's talk about what happened to the crypto market on the weekend. Cryptocurrency saw heavy selling pressure with long liquidations crossing $1.59 billion just in the past 24 hours. That was at, this article was written in the morning. 387,032 traders, Joey, were liquidated, marking one of the largest events for crypto liquidation since March. The majority of the liquidations came from long positions. 95% of those were long positions, showing over leverage across the market, at least for crypto. Analysts note BTC is forming a potential inverse head and shoulders setup that could lead to a breakout towards 130,000. Holding higher lows above 112,000 is key for that bullish continuation. Ethereum, for its part, the breakdown of Ethereum drove a wider crypto sell-off. Though analysts view it as a healthy reset, Michael Vandepop highlighted new accumulation zones as potential buying regions for ETH. You also had Solana drop aggressively to 215 from that 235 level. Dogecoin may have bottomed here, possibly at about 23 and 4/5 pennies. And Shiba Inu also joined the sell-off, but remains relatively stable compared to some others. And here's what we're talking about in terms of ETF inflows. So despite the sharp sell-off this morning and over the weekend in crypto, ETFs saw great inflows, positive inflows last week. Spot Bitcoin ETF saw $222.6 million in net positive inflows. Likewise with ETH, just a little bit less than $50 million, Joey, $47.8 million in spot ETF ETH inflows. Again, that was last week.
Yeah.
We dealt with an entirely different situation on the weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what happens when you over leverage yourself, right? So just don't go gung-ho and start buying contracts left, right, and center, buying on margin especially. Even though if you're buying ETHA on margin, you need 100% of the capital in order to do so. There's very little impact that you can have to leverage your system. But I mean, I find it really, really odd is that all these companies are coming out with treasuries. I don't know if they're buying it. I've already allocated it. You have the likes of Tom Lee grabbing Ethereum left, right, and center. Michael Saylor, every time he's putting up cash, he's buying a little bit more. And the space isn't really doing too much. So again, I think you're going to go back to what Kramer says. Own it, don't trade it. For right now, you want to wait for those breakouts. You want to be involved at the right time. Otherwise, you're going to be like me when you have like just under 1,000 shares of this stuff and it decides to tank over the weekend in contracts and you can't do anything about it. You're going to wake up Monday morning and you're going to be scratching your head like, what am I doing? But just be careful on it. I do believe over the long run, you do get the steady appreciation. But right now, don't be over leveraged. There's key support levels that you need to keep an eye out on. And if they start to break, watch out for some more downside in the crypto space because we didn't get the pop that we were looking for on the FOMC.
Yeah, and that was the thing. I thought we would definitely get a bigger move up on crypto, but I feel like it was already priced in.
Yeah,
maybe we would have gotten that price pop if we got the 50 basis points cut, but that was really,
to
be quite honest, a little unlikely.
Yeah, but for me, it's like if it's priced in, okay, I get it. You move sideways. You don't like Ethereum tanked 7% over the weekend.
I know.
Like overnight, it's like not very many people can sit through that type of pullback, especially when you're over leveraged and that's displayed in the liquidation.
And you don't even have a choice.
Yeah.
Like when you get liquidated, you get liquidated.
It's done. It's like you have nothing to say. You wake up in your account, it's empty. It's empty.
Forced liquidation.
Yeah, exactly. It's empty. So
let's go on.
And sorry, one more thing. Ethereum just put in a new low as well, so that's probably around 18-19% it's down from those highs.
All right, let's go on to Tesla. Price target boosted to $500 by Piper Sandler. So they updated their note highlighting that actually Chinese EV companies view Tesla as their benchmark, both in manufacturing and AI-driven innovation. That kind of makes sense, but I didn't really know they would say it out loud. Piper forecasts Tesla is going to deliver 495,000 cars units, obviously, in Q3 of this year, noting that Tesla's progress from 0 to 1 is critical for scaling to mass adoption. Tesla's new $500 price target, at least at the time of writing of this article, reflects a 16% upside from pre-market trading, which was trading around 430, a little bit less. It's trading at about 433 and a quarter right now, and 3/4. The firm points to Tesla's full year 2025 multiple of 230x, basically defending it by drawing parallels to Amazon's premium valuation in the early 2010s while it was still kind of growing into its value. Wedbush Danny Ives, for his part, reiterated Tesla's long-term AI and autonomous driving potential as a $1 trillion market opportunity. Ives also backed Elon's $1 billion stock purchase as a major confidence signal. We talked about that last week, Elon buying his own stock, and we knew something was up with Tesla. Gary Black, though, he's warning about Q4. While supportive, Gary is, of the long-term potential of Tesla, he says he raised short-term caution heading into Q4. He warns about possible EV delivery softness as Tesla scales, though he maintains Tesla as a core EV leader. Joey, I'm going to put you to it right now.
Yeah.
Do we see what the Model 2 looks like by December 31st, 2025? Forget about even getting these cars produced, man. Let me just take a quick gander of what this thing looks like. Can we even know it exists, Elon? You said it was going to be scaling.
Yeah.
By the second half of this year, we're deep already.
Knowing
man.
Elon, no. I think just with his obviously optimistic timelines, I'm going to go with no.
Okay.
I'm going with no on that one. Price target raised to $500. I mean, Cathie Wood has I'm pretty sure, a price target on this thing of $4,000, which is absolutely insane. Obviously, that would be contributing with autonomy and everything along those lines,
right,
as the and the robotics standpoint. But $500, what are we trading at right now, Shreve? We're
432.
430.
Yeah, I mean just at 433.
Yeah,
dropped $1.
That's possible. Listen, this thing will go to all-time highs if he releases that. If you do get that release of the Model 2, but until then, I'm going to go with no. Jag in the chat thinks this is a meme stock. You're still down about 12%. Yeah, you get that meme type price action, but you're forward looking. Autonomy, robotics, energy storage. There's things in the pipeline for Tesla. I don't know if the Model 2 is in the pipeline for this year for Tesla.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like we're ever going to see what that thing looks like. Let's go on to Wedbush boosting Apple price target on strong iPhone 17 demand. So what happened here, Wedbush raised Apple's price target to 310 from 270, maintaining that outperform rating. The new target implies a good potential upside here with Apple trading near $3 2/3 trillion market cap and at 52-week highs. The initial launch weekend sales show iPhone 17 units are tracking 10 to 15% ahead of the iPhone 16. Supply chain checks in Asia as well suggest Apple may boost iPhone 17 and Pro model production by 20%. That's not 20% demand increase. They may increase production to meet demand by about 20%. Strong demand noted for the Pro models, a higher margin product, might I add, with the new iPhone Air also emerging as a potential surprise hit. I would say that's not surprise. Everybody knew the Air was going to be at least getting attention. An estimated 315 million iPhone users have not upgraded in the past 4 years. That was me until Friday, fueling the pent-up demand that the market is gauging. Wedbush believes Wall Street's full year 2026 estimate of around 230 million iPhone units is conservative, suggesting it's more likely going to be 240 to 250 million units. And you also had other analyst agencies chiming in with respect to Apple. JB Morgan raised their price target to 280, citing stronger than expected iPhone demand. UBS, they maintained their neutral with that 220 price target, noting mixed pre-order signals. I guess maybe they have a shorter, they want to buy more. Oppenheimer reiterated a perform rating, dismissing concerns about Meta's Ray-Ban smart glasses as a competitive threat. And future developments, again, we've been talking about this for a while. Widely speculated that Apple's getting a foldable iPhone ready for next year. So we'll have to see how that ends up being, Joey. But interesting look here from the rating agencies on Apple.
On Apple, yeah. I mean, Sharif, you and I talked about this before. We're on the brink of kind of that super cycle. That's going to be 15% growth in sales. And there's a projection for around 10 to 12%. What you showed me this morning, I wouldn't be surprised. And you see it across the board. Whatever network you go on, it's like, okay, iPhone sales, people waiting outside the door, around the corner, this and that. As Sharif mentioned, this is like 20 whatever all over again. And I like it. I like what's going on with the 17. Is the foldable going to change things? Maybe, possibly. I think I like it. I like the thin. That's pretty cool as well, too. So, yeah, just be patient. See, the thing is, though, these guys are going to make money whether they get Siri right or not.
That's what it feels like.
They're going to have ChatGPT paying them. They're going to have Perplexity, Anthropic, all these other kind of AI tools to have their app on the platform. They're going to be paying them a pretty penny, so they can grow in other aspects of that. Google's back on the table as well, too, so probably add a little bit more cash on that front. And I think these guys are off to the races. 10 to 12% growth in iPhone sales. If that comes in as a surprise on their next earnings report, watch out for this name to just go absolutely berserk.
Can I say one thing?
Yeah.
One thing I really like on the new phone is the cameras. The cameras are fundamentally different. Yeah, so number one, you can zoom in a lot more.
Yeah.
The stabilization, they're using AI apparently for the stabilization now. So you can, it kind of like, remember the Huawei phones where you could do like 100 times zoom? But now you actually have 8 times optical zoom in one of the...
Which is prime time there.
Yeah.
Remember what not to do, though?
What?
Don't put your phone in front of the LiDAR.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you don't really know what cars have LiDAR on, right? Like, you don't really know. But yeah, it's a great point. I think if I put those glasses on top of here, they'll protect it there.
You think so? You think so? Maybe.
I don't know, bro. That's the only thing I'm
don't
going to do.
experiment either.
Right? I'm not going to be experimenting. Trust me, bro.
Yeah.
All right, we got to pause for a second. Adair's got breaking news.
Just keep an eye here on KVUE. Caroline Leavitt just started this White House press briefing. If there's any other news from this, I'll let you know. But the first thing she said was she's going to preview Donald Trump's schedule, starting with his autism-related announcement, as she put it here, or announcement related to the epidemic of autism. Again, using her words, that'll happen at 4 p.m. So once again, we are getting indications that we're going to get this announcement potentially linking Tylenol use during pregnancy to autism. That'll be coming through at 4 p.m. So Caroline Leavitt teasing that out. Keep an eye here as well on any of these cannabis-related tickers. California Governor Gavin Newsom apparently signing legislation that eliminates a 25% tax increase on California's legal cannabis industry. So keep an eye on MSOS, ACB, CGC, etc. Back to you.
All right, let's go on to the next story. Your friend Donald Trump boosting that H-1B visa fee to $100,000, and that sparked a whole bunch of selling in these Indian IT stocks. So let's talk about this, Joey. We're talking about the MAG in general because they're the ones that really use the H-1B visa to bring in foreign talent. So the Trump administration announced plans to raise the H-1B visa application fees to $100,000, creating a whole bunch of uncertainty for highly skilled immigrant workers. Here's the deal, though. Roughly 71% of these H-1B visa holders are Indian nationals. So you gotta, like, my mind right away went to the negotiations, the trade negotiations between the U.S. and India and the 50% tariffs that are currently on India right now. So this seems like it might be another negotiating tactic. Only about 12% of H-1B visa users are Chinese nationals, meaning the move directly impacts the Indian IT and outsourcing firms. The announcement sparked widespread anxiety among visa holders and their families. I gotta just tell you anecdotally on my favorite social media platform, TikTok. There were people like on European trips.
Yeah.
They're in Italy. And like, it's like, say, a boyfriend and girlfriend. The dude had to schlep back home while she chilled there because he didn't know if he was going to be boxed out or have to pay $100,000. Nobody really knew what the hell was going on.
Yeah, exactly.
And only new applicants. Now we know a little bit more.
Yeah. So, so we were talking, my friends and I were talking about it over the weekend. He actually used when he's Canadian. He moved over to Chicago, who I went and visited, works for Azure. And he's like, oh, this is not good. He's like, people that he knew were having a wedding and had to fly back that day. It's like, boom, instantly. So yeah, I'm really curious to see, or Sharif, bumping it to $100,000, or you could go the safer route and go the gold card, just in case you have $1 million hanging around, right? You just buy the gold card and then
it's a little bit more though, Joey.
Well, it's 10 times.
A little bit more,
it's literally
Joey.
10 times more, but I'm just saying, if you ever have $1 million laying around anywhere, I think that's most definitely the route that you want to go on that front. I like, at the end of the day, I think the way that I'm looking at it, a lot of it is Indian workers, so he wants to get more, I guess, of these IT jobs and more work based on, obviously, in America. So you employ Americans first. You have the uptick in the unemployment rates as well, too. So take care of home first.
And quite frankly, I've heard a lot of, chatter online that Canada is going to be a beneficiary to this. England, a lot of other Western countries are going to not charge their people or people coming in on work visas $100,000. So it'll be to the detriment of the U.S. and to the benefit of these companies. I see the logic in that, but I want to kind of draw a little bit of expectation kind of bump here, which is those countries don't have the same tech infrastructure the U.S. does. So if you want to work for NVIDIA and you want to be in Silicon Valley or wherever else where the big tech kind of where everyone's amalgamated. It's not as much in other countries. We know productivity is all but zero in Canada, right? And I'm not saying everywhere else is that same way, but so maybe other countries don't take advantage of this in the way that people are thinking. Maybe they do. Who knows? Maybe they build out. And also, I want to say one other thing that I don't know how to say your name, Dole Cuts. He says the Indian Commerce Minister is arriving in America this week. And likely, that there's going to be negotiations between the Trump administration and Indian officials with regard to this. So possibly, Joey, we might see an amendment to this $100,000 fee here by the end of the week or maybe by early next week. Who knows? Let's go on with the story. So Indian IT stocks tumbled Monday. We told you about that. Analysts project the visa hike could shave, I should say, about 100 basis points off margins and cut EPS by about 6% for Indian IT companies that continue employing H-1B workers outside the U.S. IT firms are expected to adjust staffing strategies to reduce dependency on H-1B visas by increasing local hiring, expanding nearshore centers in Mexico and Canada, and then offshore work more to India's global capacity centers. So we'll have to see how this all works out, but they are warning of broader ripple effects beyond the IT sector, like a decline in remittances to India from the U.S., fewer Indian students choosing U.S. universities to study, and venture investors suggest that the shift could actually benefit India's startup ecosystem as opposed to the venture capital startups that we see a lot in the States.
Well, that's a very valid point, right? Because you have all these individuals who are trained in America, and then they have to go back home, and they get to bring that. It's like what LeBron's doing. He's bringing his talents back to South Beach at the end of the day. But in all seriousness, trained in America have to go back home. You can bring your talents to wherever country you.
NVIDIA partners with Abu Dhabi on AI Research Hub. So what's the story all about? Obviously, the new NVIDIA story is the $100 billion, I believe they're investing in OpenAI, but there's this story as well. Abu Dhabi's Technology Innovation Institute, TII, and NVIDIA launched their first NVIDIA AI Technology Center in the Middle East. The lab will focus on developing next-gen AI models as well as robotics platforms, advancing that humanoid robotics arm and four-legged robots. That's specifically what they're talking about, and they're going to use, for the first time anyway, in the Middle East, the NVIDIA's Thor chip, which is a robotic-specific chip, will be used for the first time in this project, enabling advanced robotics research. As we know, the UAE is investing billions to become a global AI player, leveraging strong U.S. ties to secure cutting-edge technology. But it hasn't been all sunshine and rainbows for the Emiratis, the Saudis, the Qataris either. And here's their deal. Despite signing a multi-billion-dollar deal with U.S. firms in May when Donald Trump and tech leaders visited the Middle East, the deal faces multiple delays with U.S. security concerns over the UAE's close ties with China. Long story short, they paid for these chips. They haven't gotten them yet, despite having U.S. partners, i.e. Microsoft, Amazon, and others. The lab will host this story that we're talking about. The lab will host joint teams from both NVIDIA and TII with plans to expand hiring for new AI robotics projects. Partnerships boost NVIDIA's profile in the Middle East. Not a bad look for NVIDIA because they got some money over there. Yeah,
they got big time money. And when they first released these, I was talking about it. What happened was like, okay, Donald Trump, knowing that China may not get these H20s, goes over into the Gulf countries, starts signing deals with them so they can have obviously the Gulf version of the Stargate and everything along those lines. I like this. As for NVDA holding ground over there, I think it's going to continue to grow. They have those orders. They may not have gotten them yet. I'm pretty sure it's around a 4 or 5 year deal. 6-year deal that they've struck with them. I guarantee that it's going to increase, not only with the GBs and all the chips, but the timeline as well too. Once they see how far ahead America is, and they're just starting to build their infrastructure now, they're going to want to play catch up, and best believe they have the cash in order to do so.
All right, Sharif Slav Bicep, interesting comment. Half the people I work with are H-1B, and it's not because they can't fill the jobs with U.S. workers, it's because they will take the same role for less pay. That is one of the widely held views of why, and I think that that's kind of the general view, and maybe why Donald is doing what he's doing. If you don't think maybe he's posturing for India negotiations. So we'll have to see how that all works out. But again, from one of the comments there in the chat, the Indian Commerce Minister will be will be in Washington this week. So we'll have to see if this all holds out the same way or ends up being different by the end of the week. This is a very, very interesting story. I don't think we mentioned this much at all. Pfizer acquires Metsera for $7.3 billion to bolster the obesity drug pipeline. You'll know why this is important in a second, because they had 2 canceled studies here. I'm talking about Pfizer. So Pfizer announced that it will acquire Metsera, a weight loss drug developer, in a deal worth up to $7.3 billion, including, not including that price, but including, in addition to that, milestone payments. The acquisition secures Pfizer's place in the rapidly expanding global obesity drug market, projected to be about $150 billion by the 2030s. That's the entire market. CEO Albert Bourla said the move leverages Pfizer's cardiometabolic expertise and global reach to accelerate that next-gen obesity drug development. Let's give you some context here. We know the obesity drug market currently dominated by 2 companies. We're talking about Novo Nordisk, or DISC, if you want to say it the American way, and Eli Lilly. The drug makers now are racing to build the next generation therapies that preserve muscle mass while reducing fat. Currently, the current ones do not preserve muscle mass. That's why we always hear, maybe not nice reference, but people say, oh, you got that Ozempic turkey neck. What they're saying is you've lost mass, right? Muscle mass. So that's a key differentiator for longer term adoption. And that's what Pfizer's talking about with this acquisition. They also face, Pfizer that is, multiple failures with their own in-house obesity pill, danuglipron. The once daily version was scrapped back in April 2024 due to potential liver injury trials, and then they tried to come up with a twice daily version. That was, well, that was actually before that. That was also discontinued in 2023 due to side effect concerns. So they're 0 for 2. So I guess they decided in-house, we can't get it done. We got to acquire our way out of this. I wonder why they didn't do that in the previous 4 years. Oh, that's right, Rathalina Khan. Pfizer, here's the deal details. Pfizer will pay $47.50 in cash, which is a 43% premium to Metsera's latest close. Metsera could earn an additional $22.50 per share based on performance milestones. That's what I was talking about earlier. And their stock surged nearly 60% in the pre-market, Joey, up to 53.60, while Pfizer barely moved 2% on the news. I guess maybe 2% is a lot for Pfizer.
Yeah,
lately.
2% for Pfizer's a pretty big move. Yeah, I mean, Sharif, what's going on with these GLPs and all these obesity drugs? I mean, obviously not in the realm, but I like that one thing. Was it Novo Nordisk is coming out with the oral, I believe the oral pill that it is. I think that's pretty good because it can obviously expand the customer base. You don't have to keep everything cool. You don't need the refrigerating system that you need with the injectables. So I think that's something positive within the space. You can obviously expand your customer base. But for me personally, if you're going for the obesity drugs, it's either Eli Lilly or Novo. I'm not paying any mind to what Pfizer's got going on. Even though you just mentioned they're acquiring something, how long until they actually get the product out there?
Yeah, we don't even, I have no idea what this company, what phase trial, are they 1, 2, or 3?
And it's like, think about how much share Novo can grab with the oral pill and everything along those lines. So I think it's still a ways away before it
What do you think, though, Joey, if they actually come out with one that doesn't eat too much into muscle mass?
I think that's great.
That's a game changer
that's
right
big.
there.
That's big. I think that's big time, right? That's big time. I would put it in the realm of the oral instead of the injectable, right? Even though I'm curious to the percentage of weight that they can potentially lose on that one. Which one's going to have a little bit more? Other than that, I think it's pretty good in my opinion.
Fair enough. And Tony, I want to read out your statement. Earlier, we were talking about the H-1B visa. I said, I was reading somebody's comment that says, they're accepting them because they get paid less. Tony's got the opposite opinion. I know we're not on that right now, but I want to give it a fair shake here. So he says, correction, Sharif. U.S. companies hire them because they are more educated and dedicated to work rather than TikTok TikToks. Hey, get rid of the Department of Education. Lovely for Americans. Okay, I don't know about that last part there, but I wanted to give your voice a platform there because there is this side and there's that side, and we need to give both sides a fair shake. Let's go on to Snapchat right now. At least in the pre-market, it was up very nicely. Let's see where it's at right now. Giving back a lot here, though, Joey, isn't it? Snapchat. Yeah, up 4%, but well off the highs. 928 high, trading at 854. So Snap closed the week up nearly, why are we even talking about Snap? Because they got this new OS 2.0 hype, which they're trying to make, which is trying to connect to their augmented reality glasses. So Snap stock closed up the week nearly 12%. That was last week, boosted by unusually high trading activity. Thursday's trading volume peaked at 202 million shares, far above the average daily volume of 40. It was likely fueled by TikTok regulatory concerns, but Snap did introduce OS 2.0, which is a major upgrade for its AR-based spectacle smart glasses. We're going to pause for a second. Adair's got news.
Keep an eye on CanView. We have more comment here about whether or not this announcement will have to do with acetaminophen and, again, trying to link the use of that while pregnant to autism. This was asked here during the Windows press briefing. Caroline Levitt said, and I'm quoting, "I don't want to scoop the president." So she did not clarify what this announcement is going to be about. She just said that it's something that the Health and Human Services team and Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who is the secretary of said team, have been working hard on. So again, kind of cagey here about whether or not this announcement will involve acetaminophen and the use of it while pregnant. With regards to autism, again, though, this has been previously reported, so very likely what the announcement will be about, even though Caroline Levitt denied to answer that right now. Back to you.
Upgraded to the Snap 2.0 OS includes stronger integration to augmented reality as well as WebXR and developer tools. The announcement was seen as a catalyst for Snap stock, showing product innovation beyond, just the regular social platform that they have. But there was also the reason it was running up last week was the TikTok uncertainty. So if TikTok did face restrictions or a forced divestiture, Snap was in prime position to capture additional ad spend and user engagement. It looks like that's not going to happen because TikTok's going to be available. Despite the rally, Joey, shares remain about 47% down year to date. I just want to double check that here real quick. Snapchat, where are you? We're just going to put it in here super quick here, Joey. Snap is, show yourself, Snap, down 20%. So that's year to date.
Oh.
Okay, so I don't know why it says that, but they're down year to date 20.8. So this 47 thing, not so accurate. Any look on Snap?
I get that there's still some uncertainty, but it sounds like there's forward progress within the TikTok deal. We've seen some moves in it before when the initial bans were coming in, the likes of Meta and Snapchat. I personally use, it's the only, aside from X that I use here on the desktop, it's the only thing that I have outside of any social media, obviously being X in here at the desk. So I personally like it. I think it's popular amongst the kids. The effect on TikTok, I think it's going to be really big because we did kind of see that exodus coming out when the potential bans were implemented. Is that, okay, yeah, let's move over to Instagram Reels, let's move over to Snapchat Reels and start posting our social media content on there. I'm not going to call them influencers or anything like that because I don't think that's necessarily the case. I'm not the biggest fan. But anyways, aside from that, can it recover back to where it was? No, I think it's one of the smaller names, and I think it will continue to do so. It's been around for quite some time. I remember when I got it almost probably a decade ago. And if it's not continuously appreciating from that standpoint, I think it's just going to fall into that realm. I'm not going to put it in the class of Vine or anything along those lines, nor is it going to maybe not phase out. But the ads are starting to come in, so I'm curious to see about the digital ad revenue on that standpoint as well, too, Shreve, because the whole thing is ads. You get the Snapchat notification, it's an ad. Every other Snap that you watch, ad. So I think that can be positive for the overall platform. But as for growth, I think it's in a little bit of trouble, and there's no chance that it would ever surpass what TikTok is doing.
No, man. I mean, like, it feels like unless they're going to change the operability of the platform, it just seems like it's sort of capped. It seems like
it's plateaued, right? Like yeah. And I think the same thing as well too. And that's essentially what I was getting at. I think it's plateaued. I like it, but that doesn't mean it's going to continue on its growth cycle or anything along those lines.
And I'm speaking anecdotally. I don't have the data, but we can look for the data. It feels like the users that are on it are a little bit younger and maybe less purchasing power than maybe other social media platforms. And if that's the case, how much would advertisers be willing to pay to be on that social media platform because the buying power of their users is less versus what they would pay on an Instagram or TikTok has a younger audience.
Exactly. When as for the younger audience, it's either like, okay, I highly doubt that anybody my age right now is downloading the app, but if you've had it since you're in your early 20s, then that's it. But you're not growing at that standpoint because it's just the same people who've been holding it for X amount of time.
No, you're not growing at all. The only thing you can grow is like daily active usage,
right?
With the same amount of users.
Again, it's
I don't know. I haven't really liked this. The only thing that I really wanted to see, or that I was kind of holding out hope, I don't have it in my account, was something that Katina has been talking about for a year and a half. It's a buyout target. Yeah. I don't think it was a buyout target under the previous administration because that would have been probably blocked. But going forward, the next 4 years, I could see possibly an acquisition.
You think buy?
I don't know who it would be, to be quite honest with you. But like the way that it's just floundering.
Yeah, it's
unless they're going to twist and try to become a hardware company like Meta and really go down that specs.
Yeah, but think about we know that Reality Labs is operating at net loss, essentially,
losses,
right?
Bro.
So like, what are the chances of?
They don't have that kind of money.
No, they don't got that type of money. And who's going to be buying their their hardware products? I don't think they're. I forget how many users they actually have, daily active users.
We can find out. That's easy thing to find.
So again, I don't think it's gonna. You might get small subdued growth, but you're not going to see that kind of that exponential growth within the platform, considering it's already been around for so long.
All right, guys, let's look at QUBT. quantum computing in general been very strong, at least last week it was. So QUBT Quantum Computing Inc. raises $500 million and faces a Q-Day debate. Let's talk about it. So QUBT completed an oversubscribed private placement raising around $500 million in gross proceeds through agreements with institutional investors. The funds are going to be used to accelerate the commercialization efforts of the company, as well as pursue acquisitions that make sense to its business model, expand their engineering teams, and strengthen their balance sheet. Those are all the uses. The offer is expected to close in 2 days, September 24th, pending final conditions. The proceeds should provide significant financial cushion for scaling their operations and positioning the company for long-term growth. At least that's what management is saying. Analysts warn, though, of a potential Q-Day. What is this Q-Day? It's the moment when quantum computing could break encryption barriers. Oh, no. Sparking excitement in the sector. That's going to tank all Pandub, CrowdStrike, Zscaler for no.
Bitcoin, everything.
No, I don't want it. I don't want it. So that's what people are saying Q-Day. Quantum computing could break encryption barriers. Skeptics, including everybody's favorite Martin Shkreli, argue that D-Wave's quantum tech is effectively a dead end. Make of that what you will. The U.S., the U.K., the UAE, all the U's are expected to sign a new tech agreement during Donald Trump's visit. I guess this was written previously because he's already been to the UK. Despite the funding boost, shares did fall about 12.25% post-announcement, suggesting the dilution concerns among shareholders outweigh the bullish long-term outlook. I'm looking at it right now, Joey. It's down 13.43, but still holding a market cap of $3.22 billion.
Listen, I know absolutely nothing about quantum computing. Where to start, no idea. But at the end of the day, if you look at these things from a technical standpoint, I remember when IONQ came out with this news headline. It's like, okay, yeah, there's something about qubits, and then the stock just went. It was this day right here, boom, just decides to go absolutely nuts. Now, from those August lows, you're up 110% in a $32 name, and it's across the space. You can see RGTI. Guess what? Breakout. Crazy stuff. QUBT, big time engulfing print right there. And then QBTS as well too, all starting to participate. So it's a hot space. As for the limits of it, at the end of the day, in my opinion, sky is the limit. Stars, whatever it may be, there is no limit in my opinion. Obviously, aside from breaking the laws of physics, I'm going to be looking for the continuation in this space, especially in the near future, as there continuous breakthroughs. But Adara, what do you got for us?
Yeah, just be aware here. We have commentary coming from Caroline Levitt on TikTok now. She's saying, repeating a lot of these talking points, but what's interesting here is that, again, there will be a group of American investors that are going to be involved here, and then the board will have people with, I guess, national security backgrounds to make sure that information stays safe. They are going to be retraining the algorithm, and there will still be international operability with regards to TikTok. So it seems like you can still see, as far as what she's saying here, other people's content on the American, I guess, interface for TikTok. Furthermore, she also added that their deal, as mentioned earlier, will be signed sometime later this week. And apparently Oracle is going to be housing all the data here. So the data will be housed, it seems like, on Oracle servers, as indicated here by Caroline Levitt, White House press secretary. Back to you.
All right, let's go on to the next story. T-Mobile names as new CEO. Okay, we're going to talk about that in a second. But first, we got to tell the new traders to listen up, baby. The first month, it is absolutely free. That's right. We're waiving all the fees so you can trade smarter, not harder, all by upgrading to that elite experience where you'll analyze, strategize, and then hopefully after that, you'll capitalize on their platform that has everything. It's got infinite data, infinite trading, instant trading, I should say, lightning fast market insights, and game-changing charts. You can also predict a lot better with their backtesting tool, guys. Reliable, real-time data, global markets at the tips of your fingers. It's an all-in-one platform. Do not miss out. Execute your best trades now. Ready to elevate your trading? Scan that QR code or check the link in the description. Shout out to the great folks at eSignal. Let's go on to T-Mobile naming a new CEO and focusing on sustained growth. So what happened here? They appointed a new CEO Srini Gopalan as its new Chief Executive Officer. That is effective November 1st, replacing longtime CEO Mike Seivert. Gopalan, who's 55, is currently T-Mobile's COO and has been running day-to-day operations since January and previously held the executive role at Deutsche Telekom, Capital One, Vodafone, so he's got some experience. Seivert, whatever, the outgoing guy, 56 years old. He will move on to a newly created vice chairman position and continue shaping the company's strategy from that role. Strategic focus here for T-Mobile is to kind of sustain its decades-long growth streak, building on the 2020 acquisition of Sprint Mobile. It's a merger that transformed the company to the most valuable U.S. wireless carrier. The T-Mobile's market cap now exceeds $260 billion, surpassing both AT&T and Verizon as a result of that 2020 acquisition of Sprint. Under Seivert, T-Mobile added millions of broadband customers leveraging its 5G network to compete with cable providers. The company is also investing $5 billion in a wired broadband joint venture with KKR Holding Group. And last but not least, Joey, a potential fourth national wireless operator could emerge if Boost Mobile's owner sells licenses, but Gopalan said the pricing was too high for T-Mobile, so not going to happen. Just anecdotally, I'll tell you, like my sister and the fam, when they immigrated to the States in October of 2019, right? And when they got there, everybody was on Verizon. Right? And they had the Verizon plans. When I visited them last, everybody's on T-Mobile now? And you get better service, at least in Orange County, with T-Mobile than you get with Verizon. That was never the case. Verizon was like, correct me if I'm wrong, chat, like number one in terms of, carrier availability and whatever. So T-Mobile making moves.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, from a technical standpoint, so this is something positive, right? You have this downtrend snap, so that's consistent lower highs right there. You're on the backside of that trend. You're continuing to climb higher. Now you also have an additional trend that was to the top side being snapped. Watch out for some potential more downside on this name. Is VZ? Yeah, VZ. Let's see what Verizon's up to. Consolidation. Not doing too much over there, but hey, cell phone plans are significantly cheaper in the United States than what they are here. I don't think it's. I
feel like these companies, like I'm not touching these companies unless I want a divvy.
Yeah, and I think that's what you're rolling with Verizon with to get the dividend. And
when you look at Rogers and Bell, like what have they done lately? Like
you don't want
new business expansion. I feel like it's a 2010 story. All right, let's go on
Bell. Yeah, I mean they spent with Bell. They spent so much money transitioning from copper lines to fiber optics.
You would know about that.
Yeah. So they spend a lot of money, and I guess they're not seeing the returns the return on investment. Like these guys are spending a lot of cash.
I remember seeing signs all around the neighborhoods, like, oh, we're changing this neighborhood into a purely fiber
to the
and
home.
Like everything would be ripped out of the ground.
Yeah, everything, brother.
So you know all about that. That's a surreal house, baby. All right, let's go on to Berkshire Hathaway fully exiting their profitable stake in BYD. Bring your own dreams, more like end your dreams over here. Berkshire Hathaway has completely exited its investment in Chinese EV maker BYD, a stake it first acquired back in 2008 for $230 million at Charlie Munger's urging. Shout out to the Charlie. May he rest in peace. The investment turned into one of Berkshire's most profitable bets ever, rising 3,890% return over 17 years. The sell-off began really a long time ago in August 2022 when Berkshire reduced its 225 million share stake after the value surged to $9 billion in Q2 of 22. By June 2023, Berkshire had sold about 76% of its position, dropping below that 5% threshold where disclosure under the Hong Kong rules is required. We know that in Q1, their financial filing from Berkshire revealed that the value of BYD's holdings is now zero. As of March 31st of this year, a Berkshire spokesperson later confirmed the entire position was sold. The sale aligns with Berkshire's broader reduction in exposure to these Chinese-linked assets. They're citing, the geopolitical headwinds here. Buffett's rationale for getting out, he suggested Berkshire would find better opportunities to invest its capital. He reiterated the concerns, Joey, about the geopolitical risks tied to China and the issues with trade. Interestingly, though, Buffett and Trump share some overlap on corporate reporting. Trump recently proposed the SEC to allow earnings reporting every 6 months instead of quarterly. Buffett, along with your other good friend, Jamie Dimon, had argued for ending quarterly earnings per share guidance, saying it focuses on short-termism rather than on the company. So I know I'm talking about two different things here.
Yeah.
Quarterly switch to bi-yearly, and as well as BYD and Berkshire exiting. Thoughts on both?
I mean, obviously, if they switch to semi-annually, then you're going to be saving money on accounting practices. That's obvious. So if that's what the objective is to save money, then yeah, sure enough, you could do that. Or you could just put everything into a stable coin, and you can save money on transactions as well with that. But no, as for BYD, we know what they're doing in the likes of Europe, triple-digit growth across multiple countries, taking market share from Tesla, all these other EV names, even though there's not that many, even taking share from their competitors within their own country. I think that's absolutely fantastic. But I'm also curious, considering as of March, they were completely out of the position. Yeah. Was there any influence within the administration for them to either, hey,
great point.
You know what?
Great point.
Maybe it's time for you guys to get all out and then start investing that capital into something here.
Or preemptively on their part, not really wanting to hear from Donald.
Strategically being like, hey, all right, let's get out of this and then find something else that we can invest our money in.
So this is this is BYDDY, which is obviously the OTC exchange. There's two guys, BYDDF and BYDDY. Full disclosure, I'm involved in this name. I just got in. We're like at 13 3/4, $13.50 area. The point was it came into a technical area of support for me. This is an area of resistance and then support. We'll see, but it's trading below the 200. So I am kind of concerned, especially as we've talked more and more about these Chinese EV makers basically undercutting each other all the way down. They call that the race to the bottom, where everybody just drops their prices and then everybody's margins get compressed and only the strong survive. If you believe that that is the case and that's how this is unfold, while BYD is the strongest of the bunch, obviously a lot stronger than XPEV, NIO, Li Auto, whoever else. But we'll have to wait and see. So that's BYD. We'll have to see if their stock looks a little bit better here, but definitely not looking good there, Joey. Let's talk about the TikTok deal. Donald Trump suggests the Murdochs, the Ellersons, as well as the Dells, Dell, is going to be in the deal for the acquisition of TikTok. We'll tell you more about that when we get back from Adair.
Guys, be aware here. Keep an eye on Microsoft and Broadcom. So I'm seeing reports that apparently NVIDIA's deal with OpenAI, which in case you missed it, NVIDIA is set to invest up to $100 billion in OpenAI. This deal, though, apparently does not change any of OpenAI's compute plans, including its partnership with Microsoft or its effort to build its own chips. So, of course, Microsoft would watch here. AVGO also would watch because they, I believe, were implicated in OpenAI's plans to build their own chips. So AVGO and MSFT on watch, even though NVIDIA is announcing a hefty investment in OpenAI. OpenAI will reportedly still continue with its compute plans. Back to you.
Trump talking about the Murdochs, the Ellisons, and Dell. So let's talk about this. Look at this. See, this is just a hallucination central, right? President Donald Trump stated that Rupert Murdoch and his sons Lachlan Murdoch are likely to play a role in the deal to save TikTok's U.S. operations. Trump emphasized Lachlan's involvement. Those sources told CNBC Lachlan is unlikely to participate individually, but the Fox Corporation as a whole could be part of the group. Trump highlighted the Murdochs as patriotic business leaders, framing them as strong candidates to oversee TikTok's future. But it's not just them that's going to be involved. We know Larry Ellison, the Ellisons, as well as the Dells. Trump confirmed Oracle's executive chairman Larry Ellison and Dell Technologies CEO Michael Dell are also likely participants in the ownership group. Oracle is expected to have a critical role in overseeing TikTok's U.S. data, as well as privacy protections, ensuring compliance with the security concerns raised by the Trump administration. These American tech giants bring capital strength, obviously, as well as infrastructure credibility to the deal, which are key for getting things approved. The oversight of TikTok is going to be U.S. based, though. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the algorithm. So the White House stated that 6 of the 7 board members for TikTok's new U.S. entity will be Americans. The U.S. will also control TikTok's algorithm, addressing one of the most significant points of contentions in the negotiations between the two countries. This structure is designed to limit the Chinese government's influence over TikTok U.S. operations. But we know that President Donald Trump and President Xi spoke on the phone on Friday. And if you believe some of the reports, the deal for TikTok had been struck some time ago, but it had not proceeded as a result of the ongoing trade negotiations between the two countries. China says, they pushed back on those reports suggesting the U.S. and China remain far apart in the negotiations. Beijing stressed that solutions must comply with Chinese laws and called for an open and fair business environment for these Chinese companies in the U.S. So they should give Google and Meta and everybody else the same look in China, then, shouldn't they, Joey?
Same treatment. I mean, hey, man, you can't win it all. We know we go on the like side, obviously, YouTube, etc. Hold on, let me get out of this use long here. It's not doing too good. We're small size. We'll just take a little bit of a loss there, nothing substantial, to see if we get this market to move a little bit lower. Doesn't seem like it wants to, even though some of the bigger names are starting to come back in with the likes of Apple. Nice trade there at VWAP, Katina Man, by the way. Amazon still hovering below the volume-weighted average price, but NVDA making a pushback for that high. So that's just a little update. Tried to get this rolling, wasn't breaking down, so we just get out of that, take a small loss on that. But hey, listen, as for this TikTok deal, I like it, Sharif. I think it's a step in the right direction as for all-around trade talks. And as for some of these big boys starting to take control of it, obviously in the United States, I think that's good as well, too, keeping the algorithm intact and also just kind of disclosing what kind of data they're going to be releasing to obviously the Chinese government and the U.S. government. So for me personally, I think it's good, step in the right direction. You're having the big boys take control of it, and that's what you want.
All right, guys, and Windows is intense. Let's talk about some of these small cap gappers that are continuing to make a move. We're done with the news, by the way, guys. Let's talk about some of these TikTok small cap gappers that are making moves here in the afternoon. KOD really looking like the best of the bunch here, up 54.5%, just got into the day high at $14.84. This one had been a $14 flat top break candidate, and oh baby, did it ever. You get that initial price spike at $10.25 right into 14, it rejects. You got a double top here, 11.50 and 12 into 14. Doesn't reject, but it drops back down into the 20 and then starts putting in higher lows and higher highs. Then at that 140 time slot, all hell broke loose above 14, pushing this one up nicely to 14.84, the current day high, and now trading at 14.70, about 14 pennies off that high. So this one has been quite strong. Likewise with SKBL, look at that beautiful quadruple bottom right at $3. Doesn't breach on a wick close or otherwise basis, and below that, about 2 pennies was the volume weighted average price. So this one held 3 strictly as opposed to VWAP, and right back up into that 340 goes. Alas, we are still below that double top at 345, but it's put up a nice day today, SKBL, that is 39.5%. Rich Tech Robotics as well, continuing to curl back up, possibly into that high day. 547 HOD, didn't quite make it up into 550, but we find great support at 520, and here we are knocking on the door of 540 again, up 20.75%. And then last but not least, QSI. I had a bit of a bias on this one. It felt like a flat top break at 171 because there was just such an aggressive seller there, but it ended up losing that bid and dropped down to 165. So we'll see if this one can kind of reclaim that level. Otherwise, yeah, not much else going on. A lot of them gave back what they, the aggressive move, like NVNI, lost VWAP, despite the fact that this one was insanely respectful of the 10 EMA. I guess it kind of showed its hand here at 110 once it lost the 10 EMA quite decisively with this red candle, giving back a substantial amount. So it's still up 40% on the day, but well off the highs, Joey. Yeah. So that is my look right now for the small cap gappers as we wind down the show. About 8 minutes left. The big kahuna's already back in their seats. Obi and Sean, they're ready to go, baby. Katina, man, how was the swimming session? Raining. Oh, so you didn't walk over there. Yeah, so it was raining. So he didn't make it over there. That's all good. There's 4 more days left in this week, baby.
There is, to be precise. Well, I mean, to be precise, yeah. I mean, don't start counting now, man, because it's going to be a long one if that's the case. Look at APLD. Did you get back in the gym at least?
Yeah, so I hit the gym a couple of times yesterday against better judgment, but I was
hurt.
Climbing the walls, bro.
Yeah.
I felt a little bit better, but like I started getting the shivers again last night.
No.
But I'm okay.
So you went there and you gave it the
doubles, and I played tennis.
Oh, okay. So that's not good. That's not community college.
Just triple yesterday.
All right.
Yeah, but I'm like not there though.
Yeah.
I'm not there quite yet.
I feel you on that one. I got hockey tonight, so maybe I'll hit the gym for a couple minutes. Man, APLD, enough of that. APLD has just been absolutely monstrous throughout the day, 20%. I know you guys have been calling it out. We got all out of that TQ short.
It's big.
Again, we just talked about the accuracy on this trade. Not very good, and I feel like I'm in at a pretty good high, right? Like, I mean, I guess you're only up around 1.6%, but this is all-day grinder, and it's just like, boom, all right, let's see if we can get a little bit moved down towards some key support levels. And not even, like, I'm not even asking for a VWAP, maybe just half the way, and it's just like, we're on a different planet today, and rightfully so. Like, if you look at the likes of what Apple's been up to in NVDA, you think that shorting the market on heavy size is going to do anything? I took a stab at it. Small, so nothing to worry about. But let's do a quick trade review and see what we got going on. So there it is, the couple scalps that we did on ETHA. So it's just boom, enter there, stop out, break even, boom, enter there, get out, break even once again, and thankfully so, because this one would have been a hefty loss. We were really small there, and then sure enough, you break down, and then you don't even get all the way back towards that volume-weighted average price. And then as for NVDA, NVDL, we were involved in this one. Man, what a beautiful breakout. Look at the volume just kick in, and it's just off to the races, so I wasn't keeping my eye out on that. And I thought you would get a little bit deeper of a pullback considering, but that was not the case. So this was our small little scalp that we took on this one. We did miss out on a lot of that move to the top side, but hey, got to be thankful for what you take. I made the decision. I pressed the keys to get out, and therefore I'm living with it. Now, as for the best trade of the day, that's going to fall into the realm of IBIT. Attempt number one, no go. You take a loss on that one. Well, guess what? We get right back in, risking 10 cents. This was actually like, for me personally, just from a risk to reward standpoint, it's just like, okay, I'm literally risking 10 cents, and then I don't even partial until I get to a 2 to 1. 2 to 1, right? So a little bit less, but you're at that 2 to 1. You take a little bit off, and then you just continue that ride higher. Didn't add any on the consolidation break there. Boom, we take it off at the highs, and we grab that tick. Now, as for the third entry, we get in, we get stopped out. It's the exact same thing. This time, we're risking 5 cents. So 114. And we're out at 107, so roughly around 7 at that fill. Same thing here, we take a little bit off at the 2 to 1, take some more off, and then eventually we get stopped out, break even. So execution-wise, not horrible. We can always do a little bit better, but Bitcoin was definitely the trade of the day. I thought we would get more continuation and fill some of that gap that we experienced from this morning, but that wasn't the case. So that's why I'm going to suspect that we see some more downside in the cryptos before we get an imminent bounce.
Yeah, that it was not a good looking sell-off on the weekend, Joey, for sure.
No, not at all, man. And yeah,
and I was kind of surprised by it, I'm not gonna lie. Like, it was like, what is this? But then you kind of become immune to crypto volatility because it's just part and parcel of
I need a shot of the immunity then, man, because
sorry, bro. I know you're going knee deep or neck deep into
I'm deeper than all of that there, man. No, in all seriousness, like, hey, Shreve, man, if you want to make big money, you got to put up the big money. You got to put it up too. So again, I think I have confidence in the space for the long run. It's just that the shorter duration with contracts, the positions have to be managed differently.
Oh, 100%. There's 100%.
Right? So even though they don't expire until March, just think about it. If Bitcoin and Ethereum go into a consolidation until, say, November, December, you lose X amount of the value of those contracts to just data alone, right?
Hey, come on, bro.
Did you start your thing?
No. That's enough.
All right.
Sitting down. It's still on my to-do list, which shows you how much I respect my to-do list.
Exactly, because you got the notification and you obviously ignored it.
I know, I did. But I'm not going to forget. What he's talking about is I want to start reading that options book. It's by the Nigerian brothers. If you ever watch CNBC, I think during COVID they were on all the time. Now they're not really on anymore. It's called It's Not an Option. So it's super basic, but to me, I just need elementary knowledge to kind of get my
I sent you the link to that guy too.
Which guy?
I
got all the links you sent me, obviously, in the chat.
Yeah, it's in there. Yeah. Well, we don't want to give him credit without.
Yeah. Well,
it's up there though.
I've seen other links here too, Joey. I see a bunch of other links here too, Joey.
It's up there.
Beta. Get it, Miss Lucia.
Beta.
So that's what I'm looking at right now. Well, that's what I was talking about, guys. But I want to give you guys one last one here before we go. Look, KOD, I didn't execute anything on this. We traded how many names today? Goodness gracious. We traded about 6 names. We're positive on 5 and negative on 6. I will be negative on 6, negative on 1. But I didn't trade anything on this one. And the deal is I didn't trade anything on KOD because the spread is ridiculous. 84 on the bid, 67 on the ask, and I've seen it wider. Despite, though, it has a $15 high of day, and here we go, working back into 15, 97s, 96. It feels like 15 is just a matter of time before it breaks. It's up a respectable 56% on the day. But, to me, it just didn't fit my criteria. See, here it is, tightening up, 10 penny spread now. And I saw it about 8 pennies seconds ago, showing 15s. It looks like it's going to take out that seller. I'll submit to you guys, though, that the seller at 15, likely an iceberg, a hidden order, as we're barely seeing anything here posted on the gateways in terms of sell orders. So KOD, I want to leave you with that one, as well as SKBL. SKBL was a good one for us on the day. Let's just find that chart quick. There it is. That was also working into the day's high. I want to say 345 is the day high. It's showing me 44s right now on the ask. Another one that's spready. 9 pennies right now on SKBL. Adair is giving it a round of applause. I hope you guys like it as well, like this, but to me, it's just, it doesn't work with my methodology to get in with that kind of spread. So that's all I've got in terms of a summary. Joey, you got 30 seconds.
30
Leave them with a thought, baby.
Kill him with kindness. Yeah, I mean, the typical saying, say as I do, do as I say, not as I do. Yeah, I do that with the crypto contracts and everything along those lines. There's obviously ways that you can mitigate, obviously. Yeah, hey, man, I'll wax it. When I'm down bad, I'll tell you guys, I'm not down bad, but it's a hefty loss, right? It's like a 4-figure loss at this point this morning, but we're not going to realize it just yet.
That's daily. That's unrealized daily,
Yeah, it's
right?
unrealized. No.
Okay.
It's just a literally. No, okay, so we got 3 seconds. So what happens is I have a bunch of shares, right? The shares are heavily in the money. Now, these contracts are now out of the money, but essentially the loss that I have in the contracts is flat considering the unrealized gains that I have in the shares.
Got it.
Right? So it's like, I'm down, but it's essentially unrealized that I have lost. So I'm literally flat on the whole position. Even though the contracts are down multiple hundreds of dollars, the shares mitigate that and hold it relatively.
And I love that's how you're playing. What is that called? That strategy?
It's just a hybrid system. Hybrid contracts and share system.
Fair?
Yeah.
All right, guys, it is 2 o'clock. If you weren't with us this morning, Neil has a day off. So Obi in first place, Obi and Sean that way. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care.